Welcome to episode 9, Just Off the Plate podcast. I am here with Lawrence Armando. My name is Cody. Thanks for listening. How we doing?
We're doing great, man. We're
Doing fabulous.
fabulous. Been checking our social media. We've been getting a lot of views. Appreciate that, everybody. All the views help. All the comments, people have been commenting, telling us what we're doing good, what they like, what they don't like. So I appreciate it. So keep giving us the comments, keep giving us the likes, keep giving us the views. Appreciate the support.
You guys would be good, wouldn't you?
What's that?
Well, the Dodgers are in the World Series.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Game one.
Game one of World Series.
Tonight.
World Series.
On now.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the inning? Bottom of the third?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's an exciting game.
Well, no, not right now. It's not.
No. I'm saying. I'm sorry. Exciting series is what I meant to say. I apologize. It's an exciting.
Let's hope.
Yeah. Well, it feels good from an LA standpoint that hey, we're back in the World Series again. But again, if anybody knows me, I'm just a fan of athletes. I just want to see a great game. If the Dodgers lose, they lose. I mean, I was up there in Dallas for watching the national championship game, and it was fun to see people out there, rooting for the team. And
Yeah, you were. Yeah. And he went to game 6 and 7.
Oh yeah, buddy.
So he missed Saturday and Sunday.
Did you call Stewart and tell him that you're not coming to the Sunday game?
He already knew. We talked about
What
it.
did Stewart say?
It's funny because someone once told me they would rather play baseball than watch.
You know what? I
baseball.
think somebody told me the exact same thing. I just don't remember who it was.
Yeah, it'll come to me.
It was probably
Later
somebody
in the
very
show.
smart. Probably somebody very smart.
I don't know.
But-
Maybe like
But hey, yeah, NLCS, whatever. Your team is there. Go watch.
Yeah.
if Astros are there, Cody goes.
Cody,
Well, I've been there, so
and I would have.
had
And I
that.
think I would have watched it. I would have went if it
But
was.
did you skip a baseball
I didn't
game?
skip a baseball game.
Dude, and you know what's messed up? I not only did I skip a regular Saturday, regular season game, but I missed a playoff Sunday thing, and I do feel bad for missing not only our Pirates game, but also
They probably didn't need you.
Well, here's what's
You
funny.
would think
Here's what's funny.
it wasn't him we missed. It was our 500 hitter that.
Oh, the
took
guy
it.
that invited him.
Yeah.
Chip, man, Chip's got a.
Hey, we were missing 2 500 hitters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Aaron.
Aaron.
And when I
Chip.
say 500, I'm not talking about 1 for 2. No, I'm talking about combined 12 for 24.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, good job, buddy.
Yeah, my bad, man. But Chip had a good time. Chip
we
had a good time.
Good.
We needed your pop-ups
We did. We needed my smart.
because
aleck.
we had like 4 sack flies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had 3 sack flies and 1 infield RBI. Well,
Yeah.
you call it a sack, but
Yeah.
I had an infield hit.
And
No. I'm talking about an RBI that led to a run, but was an out.
Oh yeah,
Suge, I think.
Well, the other thing too is I feel like the Scorpions are kind of our division. I know there's no division, but I feel like they're like our division rivals in a sense because we always go back and forth on wins and losses with them. So because last few years we've been playing them that's our opening game, and we won, we lost, we won, we lost, we won, and we lost again. So next game we're due for a win. But hey man, it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, having just said that, let's take a look at the scoreboard, shall
Yeah,
we?
let's go.
So Saturday, Scorpions, yes, and the Pirates. Scorpions won 8-4. The Colt 45 shut out the Forge 14-0.
Did they one up us?
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
They one upped us.
One up us, man. That's terrible.
So Forge shut out 2 weeks in a row. They're having a tough season. Pelicans beat the Ironbirds 12-2.
Wow, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, these expansion teams are doing
Well, they're already teams, so they can play the game.
Didn't you say the Pelicans are the 40?
Yeah, the 40 and up HHL, I think.
and they beat who again?
The Ironbirds.
The Ironbirds.
Wow, it's interesting.
Maybe
Yeah.
pitching.
Ironbirds, they may not have had their guy.
Yeah,
Astros Avengers,
Astros.
close. 4-3 Avengers.
Ooh.
Gave them a run.
run
Yeah.
for the money. Astros
Yeah.
did, huh?
Yeah.
I purposely not look at these scores during the week because I like to hear. I want to guess. Yeah.
Well, you want a true reaction, right?
Yeah.
That's good. Me too. I don't even know these scores, so.
Oh, really? Then you're going to enjoy this next one.
Oh shit. Marlins.
No.
Cyclones Redbirds.
Ooh, hold on. Cyclones.
No, I already know that one. Sorry. That one I do know.
I don't know that one.
Redbirds lost.
Cyclones won 13-7.
Really?
Yeah, but
That's a team that can hit, evidently.
no, and they can. And
We haven't faced them yet, right?
No.
I talked to Stu, and then they said they're a really good team.
4 home runs.
Yeah.
Actually, there was 5 in the whole game, but 4 of them were from the Cyclones.
Really?
Yeah.
2 from the same guy, I believe.
Jesus.
Yeah, they got some hitters, man.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing too: is not to take nothing away from the Cyclones, but the Redbirds didn't have their full squad either. They had some pickup players, but
I think they had 3 pitchers, maybe.
yeah. So I mean, it's but see again, the expansion team, man, are doing a really good job.
Yeah.
That's good.
Outlaws beat the Bandits 12-4.
Wow.
And then, so that was all Saturday games, but there was also a Sunday game. I guess the Marlins and the River Dogs played on Sunday.
Marlins.
Yes.
I think the
Win.
Marlins won, right?
6-3.
Nice.
Who did they play again?
River Dogs.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess they played on Sunday for some reason.
Good win for Cam.
Yeah. He needs it.
Yeah. So there's a huge
around.
bottleneck at 3-3, I would imagine.
Because we're sitting at 3-3.
Yeah, along with probably 4 or 5 other teams.
Yeah. I didn't want to be here, but it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
So how's that going to work with these teams blowing out the other teams? Is the run differential going to play a part?
Oh yeah.
It always does, but
Yeah.
it's just on the team you're competing with, or that you're tied with.
Where's our run differential at? Do we know that?
It's on. Oh.
Well, like I said, it's not a total calculation. It is of that opponent who you're tied with.
Oh, I'm trying to think though. I don't know if that's changing because of this. Like I don't know if it's total. How many you've allowed? How many runs you've allowed total?
So if that's the case, then there's no reason to be taking it easy, 15-0
On anybody.
on anybody.
I'm trying to think that's what it is. I don't remember, man. I'd have
Because
to,
if that's the case, we need to be running it up.
If we can,
Fuck.
shit.
because I don't know if you
Are
noticed.
have you been holding it back? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean,
Is that what you're doing, Cody? You holding it back too?
evidently.
I don't know. My coach wasn't there Saturday, so I kind of fucked off.
Am I
Yeah.
talking shit?
Couldn't look at a swing. No, I think what happened, we had some rakes last season, but we just returned them to the hardware store.
Man, I know we did. We had
Yeah.
some really good hitters. But and we're gonna be missing Chip this Saturday. So, what about Sunday? What are we looking at Sunday? So Sunday was playoffs.
Playoff time.
Yeah, Sunday.
So the Yard Goats played the Warriors. They won 6-2.
Yard Goats.
Mm-hmm.
So they're defeated in the playoffs.
Who's the guy that plays on the Yard Goats? The one that stole off me?
Josh.
I'll tell you the other game: Cyclones and the Hawks, and the Cyclones won 14-5. But you already knew that.
I did know that.
Okay.
We did win.
Did you get a text message while you were in Dallas watching the Dodgers game 7?
I did. I was checking up on my team. Like, hey man, how we
I'm
doing?
gonna roast you, dude.
Really? Because I didn't get shit.
Damn, that's fucked up, huh? Oh man, yeah, I did check up on the Cyclones. I didn't check up on the Pirates. I figured I thought we were gonna get the W, man, but I know we were.
Yeah, because you didn't return my text messages when I said you're an asshole for leaving us abandoned.
Yeah, for me and Chip.
And
Yeah.
I think I texted because I showed you the text message when I sent it. We were having lunch after the game, and I was like, "This motherfucker still didn't text me back." You're like, "You're talking shit. He's not gonna text you back."
Yeah.
And
Is that what it was?
No, I saw it and I just spaced out, man. I didn't. Did I ever reply to it or not?
No,
Then it's fucked up. But I meant to reply to it and say my shit back.
still haven't replied to it.
I think I did tell.
And then I said, "Tell Chip too."
Yeah, I did, and I think I did tell Chip, like, hey, he's talking shit about us because we're not there.
What
Well,
did
at least you know. I mean, we just wanted to get our point across.
What did Chip say?
So.
I think he's just like,
If we would have won,
Yeah, different story.
we don't need you.
Yeah.
Go next weekend.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Have
go
fun.
again. Yeah, go to the World Series. Get out here. We don't need your ass.
It was an interesting game.
And good. One of the other reasons I went up there too was to protect my little batting average. I didn't wanna get-
Oh,
I see.
Nah,
is
it's
that what it
fine.
was?
No, I wish that was a reason, but that's not. But it did probably protect my batting average a little bit since I've been kind of not having my MVP season.
Yeah.
But
Is a 200 worth protecting?
I thought it was at 3. I thought it was at 3.
Okay.
I thought it was
All
at 3.
right.
I would have to check the books on that one.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But 200.
230.
But
You don't want to go under 3. If you're batting 302, yeah, you better stay gone.
I'm not gonna play for the rest of the season.
I've been getting hit and walked, so my average sucks.
You're a big target. I don't know if you've noticed. Well, you have a tendency to lean into the pitches.
Oh,
And we're gonna talk about that later.
Yeah,
We got Philip Reynoso.
Yeah, the umpire
The
from
umpire
Saturday.
later.
from Saturday.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine. We're gonna have him
Yeah.
on the show, so he can talk about how you lean into that pitch.
And the warnings that were issued. We had some
He
warnings.
said, "You know what? Whatever, dude.
Well, I'm
I
gonna
don't want
We'll get his opinion.
Yeah,
and here's gonna be my thing. You should have hit the first 2 strikes. So, but it is what it is. So,
We'll see what he says.
whatever, guy."
but going into the last thing I want to say about Sunday's playoffs is we got Sunday coming up. We got the double elimination. So we have Warriors and Cyclones, and the winner of that
We'll play the Yard Goats
yep, right after that,
that same day.
same day.
Ah,
So we're gonna have a challenge with our pitching and
Yeah.
players, right? Because you got to play 2 games that same day. The advantage obviously goes to the Yard Goats.
Are they taking this double?
because they haven't lost one.
You haven't lost.
Yeah.
Are they
one
taking
yet.
this double hitter away from like the way the MLB is doing the no days off thing?
I don't know. I think it's just rainouts and
Yeah, they
COVID
just-
and shit.
I mean, that's not unusual for this to happen in this league. I remember once, when we were in the championship game, we had to play our playoff game on Saturday, and we won. Then we had to play the championship on Sunday.
Yep.
Oh, just like
we
next
had
day.
we actually had to do that a couple times.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there was another time.
So you
Last-
burn through your best pitcher trying to make it to the championship game, and then you try to scrape one
Then
together.
you're deep into your bullpen.
Yeah.
If you have a bullpen, sure.
Right. Yeah. I agree. So
Who can pitch? Not that guy.
Okay. Well, let's welcome. Well, we got Philip waiting, so we'll give him a call and we'll get
Okay.
this thing rolling.
Let's get him going.
Cool.
On the line now, real life umpire Philip Reynoso. Philip, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, thanks for joining the show, man. We've been wanting to get the other side, the perspective of the other side.
It's exciting. Our first umpire interview. That's what we were looking
yeah.
forward to.
My hands are sweaty.
Don't worry about it. He's not
That's
gonna
awesome.
ring. He's not gonna ring you
I feel
up.
like he's gonna ring me up right now.
I'm not gonna
No,
end
he
the
already
show
did
with
that.
That's right. He already did that this Saturday.
Well,
He did.
he did it to himself.
Exactly.
You can't leave it in their
save that
hands.
for a later conversation.
Yeah,
That's gonna be in the blooper reel.
that is true, dude. Because
Yeah.
that is what a player says. Don't leave it in the umpire's hands. Even an umpire will tell you that. Don't leave it in my hands, man, because you may not like my call. So
Yeah.
and that's exactly why.
And I definitely didn't like his call.
Well, it's 50%. It's one way or another, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
well, like I used to.
It wasn't my judgment, but we'll talk
So
about
hold on.
that
So
later.
just to clear the air, right? So what happened was I had a 1-2 count, and he said I kind of leaned
Allegedly, right?
Allegedly, I leaned into it. I got hit by the ball, and he rung me up.
you were grazed by the baseball, so
Nonetheless, I was hit, and he rung me up. Whatever. I got mad.
For leaning in.
I got mad.
For
Not-
leaning in, right?
But not mad at him in general. Just more mad at myself for that happening. And then I threw the bat, and I didn't get a chance to tell you that I wasn't mad at you, dude. It was just I was mad at myself for that happening.
I know.
And it was
I didn't take it personal.
yeah. So that's good. Most people do.
So
Yeah.
let me ask a question. Since we're starting off with this, because Lawrence and I we talked about this. So the count was 1-2. Okay, he
Yes.
throws a pitch and it hits you, and you were called out. So was that pitch a strike, regardless of it hitting him?
Yeah. So what he threw was a 1-2 breaking ball, and it was a curveball that was really coming right down the middle. And in my opinion, in my judgment, Lawrence leaned into it, trying to get on base, and it was going to be a strike. So,
Okay.
per ruling and in my judgment, he intentionally, placed his elbow out there and it grazed him. I did see it graze him, but it would have been a strike regardless. So,
Well, we'll see the replay here once this episode airs.
I don't think we have it.
We don't have video of that.
We
Sorry.
don't.
No.
Oh, we got to go off the email per rules.
Well, I'll say this. I know Cheeto. He probably did lean into it.
Oh my
But
god!
but what I told Cheeto was this: had he hit the first 2 strikes, we wouldn't even have this
I
conversation.
did. I fouled him off.
No, but listen, hit.
Oh.
Hit. A foul
Yeah.
ball is not a hit. So had you hit the ball and been on first base, we don't have this conversation, right? But
So it's not a dead ball if it hits him, if it's continuing to be a strike. Is that right?
well, because he thought.
Well,
Go ahead.
so in OBR, it just pretty much states that it requires the batter to make an attempt. If in your judgment, he leans into the pitch or anything like that, then the pitch is called a ball or strike depending on the pitch location. So that's on, and I'm assuming that, I hope that NABA is going based off of MLB rules,
They
because
do.
even if, like, for instance, if you're doing college baseball, they implemented this new rule in, I think I want to say 2018, 2019, where it doesn't matter where the baseball is located at or where it's going to land at. If you think that the batter intentionally, tries to get hit, whether it's a ball or a strike, you got a dead ball and you got a strike.
You said
So there was a couple.
you mentioned OTR. What is that?
OBR.
OBR. What is that?
Yeah, it's pretty much Major League Baseball rules. This is what we consider them. Yeah.
Oh, he's trying to note take because he's trying to be an umpire.
Yeah. I'm just note taking right now.
He's trying to. One day.
Well, I'm just saying so that way.
Hey, don't let. This is a podcast show. All right, don't be taking notes.
It's a job. It's a job interview.
It's a job interview, right?
You do that on your own time.
God damn it!
Nobody wants to do the field with you.
Yeah.
I'm a badass umpire. Okay.
To little
And
kids.
see, I think that's where it kind of gets confusing, and because it even gets confusing for us at times, because you have umpires that do several levels. They do high school baseball, they do college baseball, and then of course there's the Major League Baseball rules. And it's different. So different scenarios, different things can happen, and it's just some rules might be misapplied, rules might be applied correctly. So it's just
I like that.
On that one,
misimplied. I like that.
No, I do too. I think that he said that perfect. I think that's true.
It's just that's just the nature of it, and we try to do our best. And sometimes we might get it wrong. Sometimes we get it. Most of the time we get it right. Right? Hopefully we get it right most of the time for you guys. But I know there's instances where the ruling is not applied correctly.
Well,
Yeah, because I'm thinking if it's a strike and you lean into it, I mean, you got to lean into it pretty darn good if it's
Exactly.
if it's within the strike zone.
So let me ask you a scenario, Philip. You got an 0-2 count. Guy has a good like 3 to 7 breaking ball, right? And on a right-handed hitter, and the guy leans his head over the strike zone because he thinks it's going to hit him in his head, and then it pops him in the head in the strike zone. What do you call?
You know what? I think I seen that recently. And
So you have experience on the topic.
And in my judgment, he was not leaning into the pitch, to get hit. I mean, he thought the baseball was going to hit him, and he unfortunately went down and it hit him, right? So
if you're going to intentionally get hit, you're not going to stick your damn head out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Well, there was a Dodger that was in a rundown. Was it a Dodger that was in a rundown? No. Who was it? There was an MLB play where he was in a rundown and he put his head in the way to block the ball from getting it, and then the umpire called him out.
So I got hit in the head.
No. But it was one of those things where it was funny because you could see him just like it was an old Astro. I don't remember.
On the Dodgers?
No, it was an Astro. They used to play for the Astro. I think it was a catcher.
Castro?
No. You know what it was? I think it was an Angel, but he was getting on a rundown and he just put his head out there. And it was funny because it was kind of slight. Like to me, it was like you could almost fake it. Like, oh, hey, I was just trying to move or whatever, but umpire called him out, and this was MLB. So, but I've seen people. The one that Cheeto's talking about, I agree with it. And the one I saw, he was trying to duck, and the ball just came back in and hit him in the head, and he wasn't leaning into it, in my opinion, too. So, but here's the thing. Like I used to joke. You know Don, right? I used to joke with Don, like when he would make a call and people would say stuff. I'd be like, 50% of the people are gonna agree with your call, right? Like. Depending on which way the call went, that's who's going to agree with you,
Right.
The other side's not going to like it. So sometimes you're just going to have to make your call and just go with it, and that's it. You can't try to, make everybody happy because you're not.
And we have a split decision to make, like a split second or two, to about 2 seconds to either, time it and, and get the call right, and especially with those weird plays, I would say they don't happen a lot, but when they happen, you better get it right. So that's pretty much what they tell us. Same thing with interference. The same thing with obstruction. Um, when it happens, you better get it right. So
I
you
would
don't have too much time to think about it.
I would imagine these kind of plays probably happen more in the amateur men's league than it would MLB.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yes,
I'm pretty sure you've seen some wild situations where, hey, I got to pull out the rule book on this crap.
yeah, and there's been situations where we talk about it after games, and we go back to the rule book and we look at what we called and what the scenario was. That like I said earlier, did we apply the rule correctly? Did we award the correct team? Did we not award the correct team, etc. So at the higher level, we start looking into those different things. When we start looking at high school baseball, I do some junior college baseballs for Region 14, and after every game, it's like we meet up. What calls did we kind of have a tough situation in? Doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, we do meet after the game and just kind of walk through the scenario again and make sure we have our I's dotted and T's crossed, just in case it happens again.
I think that's important. I like that, man, because I mean that's you trying to get better, right? I mean, same thing with the ball player. That's what we do, right? You think about,
Yeah.
hey, I missed this pitch. I should have, I should have, charged that ball. I should have scooped it. So I think that's important that you as umpires discuss that, so that if you think that you might have got it wrong, that hey, that one that you make sure you get it right the next time. But it's kind of like I've done it before where I've had a bang bang play, and let's say I get thrown out and it's a bang bang play, right? My dugout is like, ah, boo, he was safe, he was safe, and I'll just tell the umpire, hey man, good. If I'm out, I'll tell him that, hey, good call, man, I was out. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna announce it to the world, right? But I'm gonna say it to him so that not that he cares about my opinion, but the fact of the matter is that it's sort of like helping him his confidence, right? Like in the sense of like, yeah, if even the batter who has no reason to say that he's safe. Of course, he's gonna say he's safe, right? I'm gonna be like, "Hey, I'm out. I have no reason to say that. Here you go. You were right, man. It was a close play, but yeah, I was out."
Yeah, yeah, you're kind of just rewarding him that, hey, you made the right call, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To elaborate more on that, so I have a quick question, Phil. Do you find it difficult to umpire games that you know people on, like the teams that like for example our game?
Your game, not at all.
Oh fuck!
I
I thought there was gonna be I thought there was gonna be a little
no.
slight.
I mean, it's fun to see y'all. I Xavier the other day. I haven't seen him in a while. Like yourself. It's not hard at all. You of course want to be so unbiased, and it's just you're out there to do your job, right? Call balls and strikes, safes out, fair foul, and just try not to be so noticeable out there. I mean, I do talk. I create a relationship with my catchers. I think to me, it's important to have a relationship with you guys. You guys at the end of the day are protecting us, and you guys are catching the balls and strikes. So my job is to let you know, hey, it's about a baseball out, baseball in. If you have any questions, let's talk about it. Don't show me up in front of everybody. The coach asked whether it's inside, outside. Let's be on the same page.
Right. Just
let's work together.
Yeah, that mutual respect.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. I agree with that. I mean, I had a catcher, not Cheeto, but another catcher that would constantly argue with the umpire, and I would tell him like, you're not gonna win arguing with the umpire, because here's what's going to happen is you're affecting the whole team, because now any close play we may not get, any balls and strikes that are close we're not going to get, because you're arguing with the umpire. You're supposed to build that relationship. You're supposed to be that inside guy that builds that relationship, not to to piss them off, right? And it used to drive me crazy, because it's like you're gonna ruin it for your pitcher and the team. So I definitely agree with that statement.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you guys. Look, when I first started, I think I started doing men's league games. I want to say about 5 years ago when I started Houston Hardball League. Of course, I started off in the Mexican League. You guys know Liga Obrera, how crazy those games could get. That's where I first started umpiring. A guy by the name of Jesse James. You guys know Hot Shot. Just asked me to help him out.
Yeah.
Started going to Brock Park. From there, I started doing little leagues, just for extra money. I was living on my own at the time, and then got into high school baseball. And then, it kind of took off from there. But when I started doing men's league, I kind of did have that, I'm the boss. I'm the type of, I'm the umpire. You guys need to respect me, etc. And I'm not gonna lie. At first, I did have that, kind of like how you made the comment of you might lean towards the other team because you might think some other teams are, excuse my language, but they might be some assholes on the other team and they just want to, bitch and complain, et cetera, et cetera. And I kind of took it personal. But as I grew, I've learned to not to take any of those things personal. I just go out there, like I said earlier, just call balls and strikes, safe out, fair foul, catch, no catch, and just make sure that I'm doing my job for you guys, and not try to take anything personal. So, I mean, even if a team is, being, yapping, usually what I do now is game management. So if I hear you guys talking directly to me, I'll usually cut it out early. Kind of like, on Saturday, we gave those warnings after things kind of got heated. Because I talked to my partner and I said, hey, we need to give these guys warnings and let's cut this out now. It's in the second, third inning, and we don't need any of this extra drama. So we ended up giving the whole team warnings, just to kind of just nip it in the bud. But in the past, I don't think I would have done that. But just kind of going to your point, it's some umpires do take it personal, some umpires don't. I know personally myself, I was one of those umpires before, but now it's just go out there, do my job, and hopefully everyone's satisfied at the end of the day and just get out of there safely.
Yeah. I think, you know what? I think you're right, man. And I think I do appreciate you saying that you don't take it personal. I personally don't argue with an umpire, but I think that, I don't think there's anything wrong with maybe showing some disappointment and what you saw, right? I don't think that was a strike. Like, you might shake your head, right? I think that's okay. Like, you might shake, I don't think that was a strike. Now, I think where some players cross the line is when they try to get into a verbal confrontation with the umpire over something like that, right? Like,
Phil's bigger than me. I wouldn't do that.
Well, it's not going to change the call, right?
It's not.
It's actually just going to make it worse.
It's just going to make it worse.
Yeah.
So that and I feel like it's even if you think that the umpire missed it, it's no different than if you messed a play up and the umpire says something like, "Hey man, look, you're trash. That's why you didn't make it." You know what I mean? Like, how funny would that be, right? Like, I'm pretty sure you want to say that, but hey,
You're just not that good.
you're just not that good.
Yeah,
Who told you you're
those
that
usually
good?
lead to those ones where we say, well, he ejected himself.
Yeah,
right?
of course, yeah. I mean,
So-
did you see? I don't know if you had a chance to see that the interview you did with Sergio. Do you know
It's like
Sergio?
episode 2, right?
No, 3, I think.
3?
Yeah.
2 or 3.
If you don't catch episode 3. Sergio was behind. Sergio Mendoza was catching, and he didn't like James was behind the plate. You know James, right?
Yeah.
And
Well, James, he was the other umpire
Yeah.
at our game. On
oh, was he?
Saturday.
Oh,
Yeah,
James was out
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, on Saturday. Yeah, he was
Yeah, and so he was calling balls and strikes, and he was just arguing with the umpire, and then the guy's Sergio's girlfriend was there, and she was saying stuff.
She was chirping way right behind
chirping.
the fence, man.
Yeah, and then he had enough of it, and honestly, I'll be honest, I think he took a lot. I think James took a lot of the before he finally said, "Hey, get out of here," before he kicked him out. But he kicked out the girlfriend, and then he kicked out Sergio. But Sergio just made. But the funny thing is, I expected Sergio to make a scene.
See, he just walked off.
He just walked off.
He just left.
He just left.
I think he made his scene before he got ejected. Like
Yeah.
that. This was it. I know I'm going to get ejected after this comment. Let me go ahead and make it now.
Yeah. Well, when you get you and your significant other kicked out of a ball game, that's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah.
Just to say that.
I
say
think
the
that's
least
happened
about that.
twice now.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a manager get kicked out when he wasn't even in the game. He was in the stands. We've had my pitcher's father get kicked out like in less than the first inning.
It was like 5 minutes into the first inning.
Yeah.
See, Here's the
And
thing about
it was
arguing.
James.
It was James.
It
Yeah,
was James.
yeah.
Threw him out
And
the game.
James is tolerant. James is really tolerant. So it's like you have to really get on to really. So it kind of lets you know like how much that
But
person.
you know those two games that we had the ejections on, like the Sergio game, the one that Chris Dad got thrown out. Those were pretty heated games
Yeah.
between us and our opponent, right? Those were really heated games already, and
Yeah.
it just kind of escalated way too fast. First inning, like fuck, like it got out of hand really fast.
Yeah.
That's crazy. See, and the thing about and some coaches hate it when I tell them this, and Paul used to be one of them. Your old manager.
Yeah. We talked about him on the last
Uh,
episode.
I don't know why I always remember him because he was one of the worst ones out of Houston Hardball League, and that him and of course you guys know Dale, right?
Yeah.
But you know me and Dale had a lot of run-ins when I was you could say a rookie umpire, etc. But now me and him are nothing personal anymore. It's all about baseball. Good guy off the field, etc. But anyways, the thing is when people come up to us and they want to quote unquote argue a call, it's like you're giving me your opinion, like, and you guys and other guys just have to realize that when you guys do come up with questions. Like, just don't come up with opinions and say, "Oh, I think he was safe."
I hope y'all writing
Well,
this down. Y'all viewing this right now. Write it down.
Yeah. Take notes.
Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean you think he was safe? Well, I'm gonna say, well, I thought he was out. My judgment thought he was out. Like, what we're trained when we go to camps and stuff, and I'm probably giving a little bit too much information, but it's okay. It's we answer the questions. Okay, we don't answer to opinions or comments or anything like that. So if you come to me and I'm on the baseball field and I'm on say, for instance, not balls and strikes. You guys know that balls and strikes are non-negotiable.
Correct.
But safe out, catch, no catch, fair foul. When we're out on the field, you come out, pulled foots and things like that. We answer the questions like, "Hey, what did you see?" Or, "Hey, what do you have there?" Or, "Hey, Philip, if you don't mind me telling me, can you get some help? Was his foot pulled? Was he off the bag? Hey, where did you see on the tag? Or where did he tag him at? I didn't see it from my vantage point. Where did he tag him at? Or what did you see? Right? Those are the questions that we enjoy talking to or answering because, you're really trying to get an explanation on, what really happened. But when you come out there and you're like, "Oh, I thought he was safe. You're terrible, blah, blah, blah. I thought he was safe. Wake up, get in the game, etc." Like those things, it's just like, okay, you're just coming out here to just,
Make a
create
scene.
a scene and make a scene,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're not out there to really get an explanation of what really happened. So
No, it's like they just want to hear themselves talk and do it in front of people.
You know what? You make a good point, Philip. I like that you brought that up. Hopefully you don't get your umpire card pulled for saying too much.
No, I won't. I mean, good managers know though. Like, look, like even when we, I know Region 14 is very competitive. If you guys know that the baseball around the city with San Jack and Warden and Alvin community colleges and especially San Jack, they have a lot of kids that come from D1 that either weren't getting enough playing time. Like I know they have that kid from Texas that got drafted, last year and the year before that, pumps 96, 97 miles per hour. So there's some real good talent there at San Jack and at Warden and stuff like that. But even those coaches know that when they come out there to ask you a question like, "Hey, what did you see, Philip?" Or, "Can I get some help on this?" Like they don't go out there just to tear a new one in your rear behind. They go out there with with an idea of what they want to ask and make sure that one, we're on top of it, and then two, that we actually know the ruling on that too. So
yeah, it's
because
like,
trust me, these guys know the rules.
Yeah, they have a case and they want to plead their case to make you see their opinion instead of just going out there, arguing and just throwing comments like, "Well, you're not proving to me that you saw this or that. You're just saying stuff," and I'm not going to respond to that.
Yeah, and I think that's a very good point. I mean, because one of the funniest things an umpire told me when there was a player that goes, "Hey, Blue, well, I thought he was out," and he goes, "Well, the only opinion that matters is mine." And I thought that was but here's the thing: those are facts, right? That's a fact. I'm glad you gave me your opinion, but your opinions matter. Mine matters, right? So, And I think that and I'm glad you're telling me this because it helps me. This is I think my second year managing, so it kind of I rarely will talk to the umpire. I'm like, hey, the call, it is what it is. But now I feel a little bit more comfortable, kind of like you saying, like, hey, well, instead of saying, hey, you thought he was out, I could say, hey, where do you think where did you see the tag? Hey, I saw it above the knee, below the knee. I saw it on the helmet, et cetera, et cetera. So it's sort of like when I hear sometimes the umpire behind the plate, he'll say, "Oh, ball just outside," or he'll say,
Just
"Another
off
ball
the plate.
just off the plate." There you go. Thank you.
Shameless, not a shameless plug.
Right. And or he'll say he'll be high, or it's inside, or it's outside. Whatever he says, he kind of. I always kind of laugh. I go, he's kind of explaining himself, right? Why he called it, and I feel like, why is he doing that? But I think that's, I guess, part of the nature of the game. It's always just been around.
But see, like Philip does a really good job. Like when I was catching Saturday, he kind of kept it in our circle, right at the dish. And like there was a questionable call on the inside, and I thought I did a pretty good frame job, and I was like, and he didn't call it right, and I was like, fuck, and I was like, where was that at? He goes, a ball inside. I was like, okay, cool. And then even Suji was like, where was that at? And he told him it was about a ball inside.
Which
He
I
goes,
think,
cool.
Which I think
Which
is a fair
fine.
question.
Yeah, that's perfect. Like
It's a fair question because the thing is, like, he might have said, "Oh, I thought maybe Philip says, hey, it was over the plate, but it was too low, right?"
Like we had
He might say
that
something.
other umpire over there at Veterans, the younger Hispanic guy.
Yeah.
He was like, "Hey man, you're only missing it by like maybe 2 or 3 inches from the top, or you're only missing it from 2 or 3 inches from the bottom." That was his way of communicating to me and Suge that we were missing it, not by much.
Right.
Which is which I commend. That's
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a relationship there that, like you said earlier, that you build with the umpire, so that you can, because, the strike zone it is sort of made already, right? But their umpires, everybody's different, right? So there's some umpires that like it a little low, like a little highlight inside. You can kind of see how it kind of goes.
so funny story. Like the first inning, the Suge's curveball was like, it was on point, right? And where I was catching it, it was right below the knees, right? And Phil was calling it a strike. And then the other coach was like, "Man, that's a ball. He's catching it too low." He goes, "I'm not calling it where he's catching it. I'm calling it where it's crossing." And I was like, "Thank God,
Yeah,
finally."
and I like that because that used to be when I would hear umpires say that, they would say, again, I wouldn't argue umpires, but I would just find it fascinating when they'd say, "Oh, you dropped the ball, right? Like if you would have caught it, I would have called it a strike." But I'm kind of like, well, it crossed the plate.
It's a
Like,
strike anyway.
yeah, it's a strike anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, regardless if you caught it, yes, it'd be better if you caught it, but it's where it crossed, right? But that was just what would go in my head. Hey, Philip, do you remember? It got me thinking about it because I did bring up last week. If you guys remember, when I was talking about, remember when you umpired, you and Rhino umpired over there at Minute Maid Park for our All-Star game or HHL?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you remember when I told you about Paul, like, hey man, you want to throw him out?
I don't remember the
You remember the
conversation,
conversation?
but I'm pretty. I was probably thinking to myself, I hope he says something because
Yeah, because
I would have thrown him out at Minute Maid
Yeah,
Park.
you want to run them out of a
Yeah.
pro park, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it was like me, you were hanging out, me, you and your brother hanging out right there before the game, and I just remember going, hey, all of us want to hit a home run over Crawford boxes, but as an umpire, what you want to do is throw somebody out of the game at an MLB
Yeah.
park. And of course, and it's funny that you brought up Paul because I knew the reason you said that to him, and the reason I brought it up is because Paul used to always tell me, hey man, Paul always wants to argue every single little thing. And of course, Paul had the maybe Napoleon syndrome, I guess, or what do you
Oh man.
and just always wanted to argue. And so that's why I was like, hey, well, he's the manager, of the game. You want to throw him out, go ahead. Tell him to run his mouth.
Run him out of here. We ain't playing no more till you leave.
He was such a character, man. Especially when he played. I the same way he would come at us. I wish I would have been able to go at him every time he made an error or every time he swung real stupid at the baseball. So, I mean, that's just, oh man. Like,
And-
you want to tell me how to umpire? Let me teach you how to play baseball. I mean,
Yeah.
But you know what, dude? Yes, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Because we're all basically amateurs out there, right? You know, we're all.
We're the only ones not getting paid, though. The umpires are getting paid.
No,
Hey.
of course.
We're paying the umpires. I'm paying you to make me look bad.
Yeah, I guess that's
Oh,
true. I
man.
can't say that. Hey, let me ask you this, Phil. I can't remember. I knew it was either you or Rhino, but one time I was catching on the Twins, and I didn't know how to catch, and I let the ball, not on purpose, obviously, but like the ball went, like I missed it, and
It
it
was
hit.
me.
Was it you, right?
Yeah, it was me. I was so pissed off at you. It was me. And hey, and that is part of the reason. And not to call you guys out, I was blessed on Saturdays because I did not get hit one time. I think I had probably two of the best catches that I've had out there in a long time.
Dude, don't say that.
And
Please don't say that.
well, I mean,
That backfired on me last time.
look, I came out there unscathed. I had no baseball hit me. I think one hit me in
Oh, that
in
was
my
the one
in my
that
chest protector. That's because it hit somebody, I think.
it hit my head and then it hit
Oh yeah,
you.
it hit your helmet. That's right. It did hit your helmet.
Yeah.
And that's when all that other
That's when the
extracurricular
warning
stuff happened.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, dude. You know
but
what's funny is that when they hit him, I know he was mad, and he goes, "Hey man, you better swing. You better come out swinging, because I'm gonna ring you up."
That's funny.
oh man,
But you know
it was
what's interesting, man, is that when I started doing it, I only caught like 2 or 3 times, and I think it was Paul or Jonathan that put me back there because we had no catcher. But I told him, I was like, hey, I don't know how to catch. I respect this job. This is the hardest out of all 9 positions. The catcher is the hardest one. And when I did those 2 or 3 games, I didn't understand the relationship between the catcher and the umpire until then, right? Like I didn't understand that if I got hit hard, right, and I went down for whatever reason, the umpire goes to the pitcher, gives him the baseball to give me as a catcher. Well, I'm not a catcher. Gives it the time as a catcher
To recuperate.
to recoup, and vice versa, right? The umpire catches one, the catcher will go up to the pitcher, go give him the baseball or go tell him whatever. So it gives you time to walk it off a little bit, give you time to breathe. So it helped me kind of learn that relationship, which I didn't know existed, and only catchers and umpires kind of know that
It's
relationship exists.
It's definitely a love-hate relationship because sometimes you kind of want to call and he doesn't give it to you, or like James even told me one time there was a curveball right over the middle part of the plate and he called it a ball, and I kind of held it there for a second. I was like, no, I'm not gonna show him up like that, and then I threw it back and he tugged on my he tugged on my chest protector, right. He goes, I missed that one, didn't I? I was like, well, tomato,
Yeah.
man.
But see, and
But at least he gets that, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and him telling you that makes you think that, hey, I'm gonna get the next one, you know.
yeah, and I think that, but that's what you get at building that relationship, right? Because you sit there and you show him up. He's not gonna try to his best to try to get you that call right. He's gonna be like, well,
Yeah,
fuck him.
yeah.
But then it goes into a whole nother can of worms, right? When you talk about a makeup call like that, and then you might get a pitch. That's a ball and a half on the outside, and he might call it, and then you hear the other team, oh, that was a makeup call.
Well,
And it kind of, I mean, like I said, it's a can of worms, and it kind of looks bad. But
Well,
I mean,
I don't mean that kind of makeup call. I mean, okay, I see you got your curveball working. I'm going to be mindful of it, and I'm going to put a little more effort into it. That's
Yeah.
what I was referring
yeah,
to.
and I think that's what
No,
what
a
when
ball's a ball. If
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a foot out, that's a ball.
yeah.
it wasn't 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's
Hey, but what's funny?
that's something I'll ask you, Philip.
Yeah,
here in a second.
yeah. I'll let Cody get into that one. It's actually pretty
Oh,
interesting.
man.
It's actually a pretty interesting conversation what happened that day. But it's that relationship that you build, and I think I could respect an umpire that say, "Hey, man, I kind of missed that." Like there was one play, Bobby was behind the plate, and I foul tipped it, right, and the catcher caught it, right, and Bobby goes, "Hey, man, was that a foul tip?" And the guy was like, "Huh?" He goes, "Was it foul tip?" And the catcher was like, and I told Bobby, "Yeah, it was a foul tip." And the catcher was like, "What does it matter? I caught it." Well, what I understood without even having any communication with Bobby was Bobby, regardless if it was striking out, he wanted to know if he heard it right. That's what he wanted to do,
Yeah.
so he can train himself to go, "Hey, I'm not going to miss a foul tip, or I'm not going to miss when it hits the batter or something like that, right? He was trying to train his ears to catch that just that slight noise that you could almost miss if you're not really paying attention.
Right.
And that's what the catcher didn't understand, but I knew what Bobby was trying to get at. He was just like, yeah, it's a strike. We all know it's a strike, but I want to know, was it a strike because you caught it, or was it a strike because you felt tipped it? You know what I mean?
Sounds like Dane was catching.
You know, you know what? He might have been. I don't even remember. But see, and Dane is that catcher that I'm talking about when I say that he wants to argue with people.
Yeah, see, there you go.
It's the truth, man. That's what how Dane was, and Dane just didn't understand it. And that's part of why we wanted to bring an umpire onto the podcast, because we wanted to, we're trying to get players, we're trying to get managers, but we're also trying to get the perspective of an umpire, man, because the shit that you guys have to deal with.
I don't think, like you said, I don't think people really understand what they really go through.
Yeah, I don't think they do either, man.
Yeah.
And it's
So,
unfair. Yeah, go ahead.
funny story. So I do. This is the lowest that I'll go, but just kind of share this about what happened last night. My God. So I do this on the side during the week. I just go to Umbo Little League and I do coach pitch, right? Coach pitch, you don't put no gear on. You're just there for the little kids.
Yeah, you're standing behind the plate.
You're just standing there, safe out. You get 6 pitches, limited pitch on the 6th pitch, and you keep falling off, whatever, right? Most of the time, the coaches are striking out their own kids.
That's easy money.
I don't know what happened, but this one guy just lost his crap, dude. Just, I don't know if maybe it was his kid batting or whatever, but the baseball was hit to the first baseman. I go up the line. There was clearly daylight between him and the attempt of the tag, and I called him safe. He lost his mind, and I was like, "Really, bro? Like, came unglued." And I'm like, "Bro, like, there was daylight between the batter runner and the attempt of the tag. Like, he did not tag the kid, and and he wants to start yelling at the first baseman, "Did you tag him? Did you tag him?" And he was like, no. Like, and he just, I don't know, dude. It was just one of those things where it's like, it's so embarrassing when you see these parents at the younger age, where it's like, they think they know it all, and they think they call right, but they really don't.
I think we talked about that last time. Was we were talking about Little League, because I umpire Little League, and it's like,
bless your heart, dude.
I know.
Bless your heart.
It sucks sometimes. But we were talking about how we watch these parents argue with the umpires, and they're giving these kids the idea that they can just talk to the umpire any which way they want to, just because they see their parents doing it, Exactly. And it's not even until high school they still don't understand the concept of not giving that umpire the respect that umpire deserves. Right?
Yep, they're entitled, and then they'll understand it after they get ejected. And then what the thing is about that is, once you get ejected, it's +1 now. So it's like you get ejected and you suspend it the next game. So
that's UIL rule, huh?
Yeah,
I think HHL has that rule too. I think
after the second ejection.
Oh, after
the second ejection, then you get. But
so I got 2 ejections before I get banned.
Well, yeah, don't make this your thing. But that was the conversation we had with Sergio. Well, and Sergio, after we watched the tape, we watched the video, and we showed it to him. He understood. Hey, man, I get it. I was dropping my glove a little bit, blah blah blah. But the other point we brought out to him was like, hey, man, what if you only had 9 players? Now you're ejected. Now you only got 8. So you gotta not just think about you. You gotta think about your team, man. So
the bigger picture.
The bigger picture, right? And so that's what I'm hoping to convey to some of these guys is it's not worth it. It's stupid to get ejected over something dumb like that. And I think that it does start from the beginning, because I could tell you this: when my son started playing ball, I told him, I'm gonna kick your ass if I ever catch you arguing with an umpire. The call's a call, and that's it. That's what you live with. Don't make it so close. You don't want to get rung up. Don't leave it on the umpire. Hit the 2 strikes that you missed.
Shut up.
Or hey, what the good players do, Armando, they turn around and they just say, hey, where's that pitch at?
Yeah.
Ask the question. Don't give me your opinion. Oh, I thought that was inside. I thought that was outside.
Right.
Oh, that's too high, Blue. What are you thinking? Like, nah, man, just turn around and say, hey, because what the good players do this. So catchers, we always get the first name of them, right? We introduce ourselves. I know Cheeto. I called him Cheeto, and I forgot homeboy's name from the other side, but I get their first name, and I
Domingo.
build that relationship that
Domingo.
way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Domingo. And I'm like, hey man, my name is Philip. Call me Philip. You don't have to call me Blue or anything like that. That's the first thing, just to kind of break down that barrier and break down that wall, so that the player can feel comfortable, right? But the batters, when they come up, they'll say, hey man, what's going on? Or they'll just say, hey, they'll turn around real quick after the first pitch they see of the game and it's inside, boom. And either I call it a ball or a strike. They'll just turn around and just say, "Hey, Blue, was that is that the farthest inside you'll go?" Or they'll look at me and they'll turn around and just say, "Hey, Philip, is that the top of the zone? Is that the highest that you'll go?" And my answer is either yes or no, right? So, the batter will adjust to what I'm doing and I'm calling. So,
Yeah.
We set our tone in the first inning. So, and that's the toughest thing. So if you're gonna call that pitch right at the knees, at the bottom of the zone, on the first inning, boy, you better be perfect for the next 8, right? Don't because you'll start hearing it. You'll definitely hear it, especially at the upper level. You were giving it all day. You weren't giving it then. You weren't, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're gonna give that pitch at the shins, which is a ball, but I've seen umpires do it. If you give that baseball at the shins or right below the kneecap in the first inning, you better stay there, because I promise you, like even at the upper level, that coach on the other side is saying, "Hey, Philip's giving that baseball below the knees. Throw it there."
Yeah, dude.
And catchers will ask for it there.
And and that's the
So
thing I've told my players. I'm like, hey, if they'll say, oh well, the umpire's kind of low. I said, okay, I'll tell my catcher, and pitcher, you see him throwing it that low, and that's what he's calling it. Fucking make sure you live there, live right there. If he's calling the outside, then live in the outside. If he's calling inside, live there. Don't just get pissed because you got rung up on the inside and not learn from that. Take that and use that information and use it to our advantage. Because here's the thing. Like I always crack up when I'm sitting there, playing shortstop, and the guys up there will argue, like or my second baseman might look over at me like, damn man, that was a ball, man. He called it a strike, right? And I said, yeah, well, don't forget that when you go up to bat, it's gonna be the same fucking way. So although it might look good to you right here because because it's going your way, just remember it's gonna go that way when you go back up there. So and vice versa, you know what I mean? And so I don't although there may be some people that like that, but I'm like, hey, no, man, it's gonna go both ways. So don't be chirp. You're not gonna be chirping when you're up there.
You know, it's funny. So like my first at bat, right? I walk toward the box, and then I walk straight to Philip, and I kind of just like side like had a little side conversation. I was like, hey man, how much of this line you're gonna give me in this small ass box? He goes, right? That was the first thing I said to you.
Yeah,
he goes, well, the lines are there. Play the box. And I was like, oh, fuck.
That's what you get for asking.
But then I told you what players do, and I reminded you.
Yeah.
Well, what does Altuve come up to the plate, or what does any leadoff hitter come do?
Swipe that line, baby.
They swipe the line in the back. So you're watching the game right now. There's no line in the back, so they get as deep as they want.
Well, that's what I did.
That's
what I did. I got as far as back as I could, and he's like, "There you go." And I was like, I just want to be sure."
No, I know. In Sunday League, man, Sunday NABA, I get right exactly where they're at. It's
look at the batter right now in the game. Look how deep he is. And that's because they erased that back line of that batter's box.
Well, there's been a lot of plays at home plate, so that lane's just constantly disappearing.
Hey, well, you know what's funny? I got to go to Game 6 and 7 of NLCS, and that's a comment I made to Chip. I was like, as much as they go out there and rake the field and the mound, why don't they line up the batter's box? Because
it's gonna get erased again.
Yeah, but I still wonder, like, why? Like, as much as they take care of the field, why is that part of their in between inning cleanup? I find
to redo the lines.
Yeah, because I think you could probably build a system that would take you literally the same amount of time. By the time they drag the whole infield, you could draw that box again. I just think it's funny that they don't.
Have you ever seen them do lines on a professional field?
Yeah, that's a pretty delicate
They bring
task.
that big piece of wood out.
Yeah,
They got like
it's a
six.
template.
They got like 6 Picassos out there, like dusting off the white once the chalk is set.
I understand that. That's great for the first inning. I'm just saying there's got to be something in between the inning because it's funny because I was noticing basically like you said, fill up the back of that box.
I don't think
was
they
gone.
have time. Because soon as the inning is over,
They got
the pitcher and catcher
they got the
is
timer
coming
now,
in.
right? They got the timer in between innings now.
Yeah, they have the timer, 120 seconds.
Yeah, no, they do. But I just figured in the when I was looking when they're dragging it, and that kind of sucked too for the players. It's funny you said that because at first they weren't taking ground balls when in between the innings because they were raking it. And once they stopped, then they were able to get ground balls like we do. So, but it is fascinating to see it on a live game because you get to see all those little things that you wouldn't see, watching it on TV.
Philip, let me ask you. You hear a lot of people say this. You don't know if it's true or not, but does an umpire ever get a relaxed strike zone later in the game? As the game progresses.
Oh man, so so
He's like, "Why'd you ask me that?"
So
because
right,
we talk about things like this,
Yeah.
and people want to know.
Yeah, of course, when it's you want to call balls and strikes consistently, as much as possible. But when you guys know this. I mean, I've seen 20-0 in the Houston Hardball League. Hell, I've seen 24-0 in the Houston Hardball League.
Yep.
And unfortunately, Armando's teams used to be on the other unhappy side of it,
exactly.
right?
Yes.
When
100%.
Paul's teams were
Twins and Toros, bro. Yeah. You're right.
Twins and when they used to play Marauders, when Marauders were loaded, and Thunder were loaded, and they had some decent baseball teams out there in the 30 plus. And then what's that other team that was blue and white? They used to always fight with Thunder.
No, they're talking
Cyclones
about Oilers.
and
The Blue Jays.
Not the Oilers. They were
Blue
they used
Jays.
to play Lamar High School a lot.
Oh,
They used to play with,
Drillers.
The Drillers were good too. There you go. See, they were another good team. But anyways, to your point, there has been where I did get relaxed. Okay, there is, and it's sometimes it's you're down to the last 45 minutes and it's 15-0, 18-0, and even some of the players will tell you, "Damn, Blue, open it up."
Yeah.
Is that like an unwritten rule?
It's I guess you can say that, right?
Yeah.
Just depending on the score.
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes, guys, you guys know this. The other teams probably isn't even throwing a strike throw or anything like that. They're just throwing somebody out there to get through the game.
Yeah,
so
that's kind of what happened a couple of weeks ago. We were playing a team over there in Pearland, and it was like 13, 14-0, and they didn't have any more pitchers. They had a guy come in, tried to throw, and did not throw a single strike on the warm-up, walked 3 guys, then got ejected because he was arguing with the umpire over, I think.
What happened was he threw a ball in the dirt.
Right, and he called it a strike.
And he called it a strike.
That's to me, that's out of my integrity. I'll give an extra baseball out is what I'm talking about. So,
I'll
give an extra baseball out, something that's close. Now, if you can't throw strikes or come even close to it, then I'm just going to ball you until the coach can figure out to throw, somebody that can throw strikes in there.
What was really interesting about that game was Cody was up to bat in one of the plays, and Cody, what'd you say? You said, "Hey, are you gonna?"
Well, so I'm sitting there batting. One ball goes behind me, right? I got a shift, so I should have just let it hit me. But anyway, it goes behind me, and then he pitches way outside, and the catcher kind of has to dive for it, and he calls it a strike. And it was, I think I let another one go that was high, and he called strike 2. And I said, "Okay, look, I'm all for this, but I don't want to get rung up on something that's 2 feet over my head or outside of the zone. Are you going to ring me up on a pitch that's over there?" He said, "Well, look, I wanted to get you 2 strikes. I'll call it a little closer, but if it's remotely close, just try and take a swing." I said, "Okay." Luckily, it was right down the pipe, and I squared it up. But man, I don't want to strike out on my stat. You know, when somebody can't even throw a strike.
I'm glad you brought that up, Cody, because that's my mindset. So I hope in a situation like this, And for all my umpires that are probably listening to this, y'all don't kill me, but I usually do open it up when you get to 2 strikes. He has to get you out looking. Like I'm not gonna, or you're gonna go down swinging.
Right.
So I'm not gonna. But my thing is, I won't call a pitch where it's 4 baseballs out, or the baseballs over your head or anything like that. Like I wouldn't do that specifically. But I'll give a baseball extra out on the outside of the plate, or a baseball close that I know you could hit, right? So there I'll open it up there, but I won't go to the extreme of where I'll throw, if the pitcher throws it in the dirt, I'll call it a strike. If the pitcher throws it at your neck, down the middle at your neck, I'm not going to call that a strike. So
right.
Yeah, and I
to
think,
each their own. But the one thing that I've always been told, and just going back to, if you're going to open it up, you better open it up towards the end. It's harder to open up at the beginning of the game and then try to close up on a pitcher. So we'll start off with a real good strike zone. And this is only for you guys, unfortunately, right? But at the high school level and above, my zone stays the same 1 through 9. So.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, when you're at an elite level like that, somebody on that team can come in and throw strikes.
Because
somebody's going to be on there,
watching me too. So
yeah, no, and I think so too. I think that's good that you said that, and I think that's true. And what was interesting about that whole game was, one, I think what Cody said to the umpire was good. Like, hey, you're not gonna ring me up on something like that. 1 or 2 strikes, fine, okay, I get it. I get what you're trying to do. We all get what you're trying to do. I mean, even
give me 1 chance, not 3. This guy needs an advantage.
And I agree. And I totally agree with that.
I hope Joe Kelly broke his finger on that play. By the way,
shut up! What a hater, bro! What a hater!
Game over, baby. Game over.
It's a wrap.
Tampa Bay beats Houston Astros. I'm sorry, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Ah, damn! You're gonna get more hate, man. You're gonna get hate. You're gonna get a shot. We're gonna figure out where we shoot or where we shoot our shooting location. They're gonna blow us up.
We're at an undisclosed location right now.
But what was funny about that, Phil, was that so one was interesting what Cody said, right? Hey, don't ring me up on strike 3. Strike 1 and 2 is fine, but not 3, which I think was fair. Then we had the pitcher that got ejected because he got offended. He got offended that the umpire opened it up too wide. Like, hey, now you're offending me because you're basically saying I can't throw it. And then they got into a verbal confrontation. Like, and the umpire's like, well, you can't.
He said, you have not thrown a single strike yet. He walked like 4 guys, didn't throw a strike in his warm up.
Yeah.
So
and of course I think going back to what you said earlier, this umpire was younger, and I think, it was one of those things where he's going to mature and understand, hey, that probably wasn't something I should have said. And here's the thing. I didn't take any offense to what the umpire said.
Oh, no,
because what he said was true. Like, hey, man, I'm helping you out. You need to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I'm helping you out.
He was good. I actually remember his name. I actually liked him.
Yeah. He was a really young umpire.
I didn't catch his name.
Yeah.
But I understand it, right? But it was interesting. And then on top of that, we were up over 10 runs, and I was getting shit on by my teammates because I know there's an unwritten rule. And by the way, Philip used to manage a team that I was on in the Mexican League, so he understands this, and which is a good. Actually, I want to get his opinion on it. But in the men's league, anything can happen, right? Sometimes you're up 10 runs, 12 runs, and people will come back and put a 12th spot on you just like that in 1 inning. And so I've always felt in the men's league, you're up 10 runs, keep it going. I'm going to keep stealing. I'm going to keep doing what I got to do to keep putting up more runs because you might come back on me. I just don't know. And I know that's an unwritten rule of baseball. Well, that day I was tired and I felt like, well, these guys ain't going to come back on us. So a couple past balls, I just kind of stayed out first. And, of course, I had to hear it from Cheeto and Cody.
Well, what's funny, I'm going to make a correction because what's funny about that, we were not up 10-0 we were up 9-0, and you were the 10th run. So you could have came in and scored that 10th run, and it would have been 10-0, and okay, we don't have to do this anymore. But we weren't even double digits yet.
Yeah, shit. I guess I didn't know. I should have.
You literally had like 14 chances to just get off the base.
Yeah, I did. I had a lot of chances, and I was like, "All right, better go." And
Yeah.
I finally like after like the third pass ball, I told the pitcher, "Hey man, I'm tired of sitting at third, man. I gotta go." This is just bad.
It's getting hot out here.
It's getting hot out here. But
It was abnormally hot that day.
Yeah, it was.
But it's men's league. I think there kind of like what you said. When you're in the high school and those type of your umpiring is different. A strike is a strike, and you got to stick to that because you got people watching you. And then if they see you have a lousy strike zone, hey, they're not going to want you in critical games, right? Oh, that umpire doesn't
exactly.
So I understand that. Where we're here, we're amateur men's league, right? And it's I mean, we want you to be right, but at the same time, it's not as critical as it is over there. And I think sometimes. I've said this for a long time that too many people want to coach and play like the MLB, and it's different here.
Yeah.
It's different here in our men's league amateur. It's different in high school, and it's definitely different in little league.
I had a quick question, Phil. Being that you umpire in different leagues and different organizations around Houston, do you feel that being paid a significant compensation kind of influences the way you umpire?
To me, not anymore, bro. To be honest with you.
No, I got a follow-up question to that. I just wanted to hear that.
But I mean, it does influence what games I take.
Yeah.
So if my scheduler calls and they're like, hey, do you want this men's league for 75, or do you want to go spend 2 hours and make $45
at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a hot summer day?
Yeah, then of course I'm gonna go with the men's league with the $75. And to me now, being out there with you guys is just fun. There's no stress. Even though people think that they can talk to a certain way and things like. I mean, I didn't have any issues Saturday with both games. And I just think that goes to our development and just being around the game and being around you guys a little bit longer. And then, of course, just understanding that
good managers too.
That we have good game management from our end. And just, hey, if there's a situation, kind of just take care of it. If there's not, then just let it be, But it doesn't influence how I call a ball game. I'll tell you that right now. So, Cheeto, I think I was real tight with you guys. I think my strike zone on Saturday was I was using it to get ready for camp. I told you.
Yeah.
I have camp on the 7th of November.
And you picked a really good picture to get ready for that because he was throwing like low 80s.
Yeah, and so I just I went out there and I had in my mind even before I busted my ass going out, I was going up 45. The first inning. I was, working it like if I was working a normal baseball game at, whatever I would do to, regarding the level. So to me, that was like a tune-up game. Because unfortunately with COVID, I mean, we haven't had that much, spring action, or we had a lot of summer action, but other than that, games come in far in between, with good baseball. So, so to answer your question, at this point, it doesn't, as far as how I'm going to call a game, but when I pick a game, whether I'm going to work it or not, then yeah, it does.
So my follow-up question was, even as baseball players and being like super fans of baseball, right? Because we've known you for quite a while. We all love the Little League World Series and all the games leading up to that. Now, all those umpires that umpire going up to Williamsport are all volunteers.
Yes,
they don't get paid nothing.
Really?
Not a dime, dude.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Shout out to my boy Bobby Cepeda from the Sugarland area, that Rosenberg area, that he's actually gone all the way to the college, the Little League World Series, and not a dime. They don't get paid a dime.
Everything's on you. But you have. I don't know how the process goes of getting picked to do that.
Man, here's the thing. Hold on, let me pause you.
You volunteer all your time.
No, but here's the thing. They make money off of that. Thousands.
They don't.
No, he's talking about
the
like the league
Oh,
itself.
the league.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, bro, come on. With the sponsorships,
Sponsors,
and their
commercials,
shows,
yeah.
and damn man, you talking about see that's corporate America right there, just raking it in. Oh, just for the
Oh,
kids.
because you didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that, dude.
Yeah,
See
it's on their own dime.
and see that's messed up because
Well,
what they're doing is they're feeding off of
the
you.
uniforms are free and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, they pump all that money back into the association, which is Little League of
Right.
America. I mean, it's not like they're just filling their pockets.
Okay,
That's a
Yeah.
big organization.
No, I'm
Hey,
just gonna tell you,
this,
we just
I-
exploited it
I-
right now. We uncovered it. You heard it here first.
yeah.
So
And
my
I'll go back and double check, and I'll get with you guys. But from my knowledge, I think they get free gear and all that for the umpires,
Okay.
and I think the living there is free because they stay in the same condominiums as the players do, whatever. But I think just getting there is what the umpire pays for.
So my
Cool.
question is like when we watch these little league baseball games and they got decent some pitchers have like decent curveballs and like a decent slider for their age. Now when you see an umpire call a strike that was literally out of the box, and you see him ring him up again, like what's your thought on that?
I mean, I'm sitting here as a fan, and I just think I don't try to talk down on the umpire or anything like that. But I mean, when you see a bad call, it kind of makes you cringe.
Let me ask you this.
But I mean, you still have the same respect that we're not perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
At the
it's
end
a
of the day,
human
like-
element. It's not easy.
Yeah, the human
Yeah.
element.
Yeah.
So
Let me
it's
ask
kind of
you.
like these guys in the major league level. Even when I'm watching an Astros game,
See, I
I
snuck
forget.
that in
I
there.
won't name the umpire, but game 2 or 3, the umpire was very inconsistent. And the Rays had about 5 calls go their way. So meaning that they had 5 balls turn into strikes. And the only reason I know that is because there's this, and I'll shoot you guys the link, and it's pretty interesting. There's an umpire fantasy ejection kind of like Facebook
Oh,
group.
really?
Yeah, that and there's a bunch of umpires on there. But the head guys that do it are pretty connected with the MLB and the MLB guys and stuff. And they review every single play. They take off points for incorrect calls. They give you 3 points for correct calls, etc. It's a fantasy league.
I didn't know you
for
could gamble
umpires.
on umpires too.
Well, you don't gamble on it. It's just
Oh,
for
shit.
Yeah, you're just rating them. So let me
Yeah.
ask you this: Angel Hernandez.
Oh God, I knew that was coming.
Angel Hernandez, a great umpire or the greatest umpire?
Look, man. Hey,
Devil's advocate
see,
over here, man.
Look, here we go. Right. So Angel Hernandez has probably one of the best zones you'll see when he's on. Right. Now his
So
bases and stuff like that.
What days are those? What days are those?
I mean, go look at his stats from the playoffs from the NLCS.
Okay.
Or from the NLDS. I mean, he was like at a 98% accuracy rate.
Awesome.
So
That's good.
When he's
that-
on.
Yeah,
Now when
I
he's
mean-
off.
He's off.
when he's off, I mean, everybody hates on him. So
You know what's funny is like I don't pay attention to him. I just brought up his name because that's when you think of bad umpiring.
Well,
you
he's a
think of-
controversial guy.
Yeah, you think of Angel Hernandez.
he's a
and
controversial guy, but I still think he does a real good job.
That's good to know, man.
And there's still a lot to learn from him. So
No, that's good
Well,
to know.
God,
man.
he's been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
mhm.
He's been in the league for a long time.
Yeah.
I remember when he threw out somebody in the announcer's booth because they said something.
they played
They-
3 Blind Mice.
Yeah, that's
That was
it.
him. That was him.
Was that
Yeah, I
a
think
was
that
that
was
a
him.
pro game or was that at a college
It
game?
was a long time.
Yeah, it was an amateur game.
It was a long time
Yeah.
ago.
'Cause
It was.
I seen that video.
so
It's
did
on
I.
YouTube.
Yeah, I seen it. I don't know that
But
was him
the
though.
fucking keyboard guy
Yeah.
was like, "Three blind
Yeah.
mice," and he's like, "Get the fuck out of
Yeah.
here!"
Hey, so
Yeah.
Phil, let me ask you this. We brought this up in the last podcast. Do you have an aggressive when you got an aggressive throw out, or do you have the little twist finger throw out?
In
Twist
the
of the
men's
wrist.
league,
Yeah.
all right. So
It's a thing, dude. It's a thing.
Yeah,
all
it
right.
is.
So look, all right. So when it's an embarrassing ejection, and I don't know, bro. Whenever somebody gets thrown out with you guys, I'm just like, dude, get the hell out of here, and I just do the little finger, and like I don't even like waste my energy and like throw you out or anything like that.
Because you don't want to
I'm
give it.
just
You don't.
like-
You don't want to give him the satisfaction.
Yeah, I don't want to give you
Yeah,
the
that's what he's
satisfaction, bro.
looking.
Like, just get
Yeah,
the
he's
hell
looking
outta
for an
here.
eruption from you. Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, yeah,
Oh man, that's funny. I will say this.
yeah. And you know, you know what I love, and
Yeah.
in the men's league, and I've done it before. Um, is you're chirping, and you're like, you're fucking terrible, or whatever you say, right? And I did it. I forgot who I did it to, but it was so funny.
I'm gonna say Carlos.
Um, and no, it wasn't him.
No, I'm messing
No, it
with
wasn't
you.
him. But I was like, hey, what did you say? And he turns around and he starts telling me what exactly he said. I was like, you're ejected. And then, like, I just whispered, right? And he's like, but at first he was like talking smack under his breath and like wasn't really saying it directly. And so I was like, hey, what did you say? And he said it to me. And I was like, hey, you're ejected. And then as soon as I said you're ejected, he turns around and he's like, what the fuck do you mean that I'm ejected? I was like, okay, now you're ejected. Boom, and I throw him out.
That's that double whammy right there.
No,
boy.
you know what's funny? I think James did that to somebody too. Did the same thing like what? No, not for real. You're ejected. Like you're really out. Like there's no way you're gonna tuck you out of this one.
Yeah,
That's
I think that
wild.
was the funniest one that I've had. But no, I don't. In high school and college, of course, you know, I bless my heart. I have had 0 ejections at the upper level. So
That's good, man.
now tournament baseball, I've had some. In the collegiate league last year, I had 1 ejection, and that was because the coach was trying to fight a player.
God damn.
Because they were getting their asses beat 12-0 in the last game of the season to go to the playoffs, and the kid was committed to, I forgot where he was committed to, but it was somewhere northeast, and he made some real good plays. Hit about 2 bombs off him that day, and he made a play at short, and you know he kind of backflipped, I guess you could say, in the defensive way, and the coach didn't like it, and you know he had words with him, and you know that's when I ejected the coach. But other than that, I mean, I haven't had any high school ejections or college ejections. So
Did we have a defensive bat flip in our game Saturday?
Oh,
I thought I saw something over
Yeah.
on the right
no,
side.
I think the only one that came close to it was when the batter got upset and was a little sensitive when Cheeto celebrated that strike right at the knees.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if you would consider that. I mean, Cheeto didn't do nothing.
no,
He
Cody's
just showed some emotion on that play,
Cody, are
which
you?
was warranted.
Yeah. I mean, it's an emotional game, man. I mean, I think I've said it.
So
I've been saying it for a while now that pitchers should be allowed to get excited.
Well,
Batters should be allowed
what
to get excited.
it was, man, it was a great battle, right? We had this guy at 2-2 count, right? And anything Suge was throwing, this dude was fouling it off.
Even way
Yep.
out here. Like
Yeah, dude, he was
yeah.
like he was tomahawking anything that came near the zone, right? We would bust him inside, he'd foul it. We threw it outside, he would go after it, chop at it, and I wasn't getting irritated. It's a good battle, right? It's cat and mouse at that point, and then we got away with a fastball right at the knees, right? Like I mean,
it was a perfect pitch. It was beautiful.
it was, and then like I was excited that we won that battle, and I gave it a little Ric Flair woo, right? Woo, and like he got in my face right away. It was like, fucking play like a man. I was like, what? I said, hold on, bro. what happened?
I ain't the one. I ain't the one.
No, I didn't say that. No, ask Philip. Philip was right there.
But hold on.
Yeah,
hold
no,
on.
he didn't say nothing.
No, but let me ask you this.
Oh shit! What?
Flip it the other way. You battling it out.
Okay,
The catcher goes, whoo. What are you saying?
that's what happened. My last at bat, I lost the battle. I got hit. You got rung up. I told Phil, I was like, I don't know. That's questionable. I got mad, threw the bat, and I walked off.
Yeah, and that's
I'm not gonna get mad at the catcher. I'm gonna tell you, we
No,
actually
no. I'm talking about the exact situation that happened with you. I get it. I get your excitement.
okay.
But I'm
so,
asking you.
So you're saying if the shoe was on the other foot, then
Yes,
what would I do?
exactly what I'm saying. No, I believe you would have got
So
mad at the
you're-
catcher.
I think you're missing a part in this though too, Cheeto.
Oh shit! What?
He wasn't happy with the call
Yeah,
at first.
probably so.
So I don't think he was happy with the way I struck him out either. But that's another story. Because that fastball was right down the middle,
It was down
right
Main.
at the
It was
knees.
down Main Street, bro.
Yeah, but I mean,
and
but
I
that's,
just got to.
yeah.
And he looked at me. He was like, "That's not a." He goes, "What did he say?" He goes, "That's not a strike. That's low." And and all I hear is Cheeto, "Woo!" And he got real mad at Cheeto, like real mad. like,
But that's
like
what
he
I'm
wanted to
saying.
break his bad man.
But that's what I'm saying. I guarantee you, you flip it around. Cheeto's battling it out. Cheeto doesn't like that low call,
Okay, but
and then the
like I
catcher
told
goes,
Cody, because
woo.
Cody told me the same thing. Because he was like, "What if it was the other way around?" I said, "Okay, well, if he beats me and they wooing me, and it's happened before, that's their Super Bowl, right? That's their World Series. They beat me, and now I just got to come back and try to beat them again. That's it. Now, if you talk to like 10 year ago Cheeto, oh, I'm fighting
I
somebody.
don't know. I can remember. I can remember when somebody got corkscrewed at first base, and the pitcher said something to you, and like, today's not the day, man. Today's not the day. So I'm just saying, you got a short fuse. And so what I want you to acknowledge is that if it was on the other way, you would have done the same reaction. So you have to appreciate his reaction and not take it personal and not be offended by it.
I don't
That's
know.
what I'm
I don't
saying.
know what you want me to acknowledge.
I want you to acknowledge you would have acted
I
the
don't
same way.
appreciate his reaction. You saying you appreciate that guy's reaction?
No, I don't.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm saying that he shouldn't feel offended by that reaction.
I didn't.
Because
I didn't feel offended.
no. What I'm saying is,
I feel like how he did it was a little out of line.
I think you would have done the exact. You would have acted the same way.
I would know. This dude got in my face.
You got to
No,
do it.
he was trying to take out his anger that he had towards me, towards Cheeto.
No, not and I agree. All I'm saying is, I've seen a play where Cheeto ran over a first baseman.
I didn't run over. We
I mean-
collided.
It's gonna get played. It's gonna get played.
No.
It's gonna get played. He ran over the first baseman, and you know Manny, right, Lujan?
Yeah, Lujan.
Yeah, you know that dude has a mouth, right? Everybody knows it. Me and Manny get into. We're teammates and shit, so we talk shit to each other, right? But he has a mouth and he pisses a lot of people off. And Cheeto and him have a history, and when he ran over his first baseman, Manny didn't like it, and he gave some words to him, and then all of a sudden Cheeto fucking snaps a fuse and starts talking shit, right? And so that's my point. My point is, if Cheeto's battling up there, this is what I'm saying, Cheeto's battling up there, and you don't like the strikeout, right? You don't like the strike that the umpire called, and then the catcher goes, whoo! I guarantee you react very similar.
Okay, I will acknowledge that I probably will get upset, but not to the extent that this dude did, because I'm gonna tell you, ask Philip, what was the demeanor like when I came up to bat with the catcher Domingo?
Oh, Domingo was just like, he's an idiot. I mean, not trying to put him.
No, we were
Put him out there, but-
we were goofing off the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Like,
you guys were.
I
But I'm
can't.
just talking about.
I would come up to the
Oh,
box.
Domingo's the one that.
No.
Oh,
So like I would come up to the box, and then Domingo would fucking make some kind of like stupid comment, and I would start laughing, and I would call time because he fucking threw me off. And the same
Yeah.
the same thing when I was catching, I came up to him. He goes, "What happened with you and the first baseman?" And I told him. He goes, "Man, I know you wouldn't do that, dude. You seem pretty cool. Like I don't think you would say anything crazy." I was like, "No, man. We would have like full conversations at the fucking box." And then Phil's just like listening, like
no,
He's saying that everybody agrees that was just an overreaction by the batter. And it really was. I mean, I'm surprised he held on that long facing Sujith. I mean, some of those hacks were at his eyes. You don't swing at pitches there.
right,
And then you
right.
leave the one down the middle. I mean, it's no wonder. I mean, you can't be mad at anybody but yourself.
right.
Yeah,
It was a great pitch.
Yeah.
Nobody was going to touch it.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
Cheeto, not Mookie Betts,
Not Mookie
Not-
Betts. Hey, wait. What about Springer?
Bellinger.
What about Springer?
That
Wait,
was
he's-
like
he's
not
saying-
Springer.
Hold on, he's saying a lot of Dodgers. I'm asking if he's going to go into the Astro lineup or not.
I just said Springer,
Definitely not Altuve.
but
Not this
definitely
season.
not Altuve.
Well, not this season, Altuve, but
and
prior.
definitely not Bregman.
Well,
Bregman makes me think that he was the main one cheating. I mean,
Hey, what about
100
Gurriel?
batting average through
Look
the
at
ALCS
Gurriel.
and LCS.
Golly.
yeah,
I know,
Gurriel
dude.
too. I mean,
Nah.
but Gurriel was hitting during the season, so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. But Bregman's been struggling in all year,
yeah,
and
it's
it's
tough.
just.
It's tough, man.
But anyways, that's another conversation. So
That's another podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That's
too
another
soon.
podcast
That's too
because-
soon right now.
3 years too soon?
No,
No, come on. They just
no.
lost Game 7.
oh, but now you can't say that because then you got Luhnow here having interviews right after they got eliminated.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, trying to clear his name too.
Yeah,
so.
that was ridiculous, man. I mean, at that point, you got to let it go. It happened on your watch. Like, you got someone.
He got screwed though, man.
He did. I
He
think he
got
did
screwed.
too.
Yeah.
I think he did.
After watching that for 37 minutes, that was MLB and Astros screwed him.
He's looking for
Big
another
time.
job, basically, and that's why he did what he did. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't blame the guy, but hey, you are the general manager. If it's going on, you should know about it, and if you do, you should do something about it. But the thing is, Rob Manfred, he put everybody on watch before. With the whole Apple Watch deal, he gave everybody warning. So it would have behooved him to get in there.
Behooved.
Whoa! Oh, for our
We're gonna have to put the
Can
dictionary.
you use that in past tense? I don't know.
You're gonna have to put the Urban
It
Dictionary
would have
up
been
for behoove.
it would have been beneficial for him.
Stuart don't
asshole,
understand what that means. Stuart's gonna get it.
to look into his own club and make sure, hey, none of this can be going on.
But here's the thing, man.
Spill
Look,
it. Spill it.
I feel that it wasn't. I understand that you go after the top guys. Okay, the way I look at it is when the police catches the lower level guys to snitch on the higher level guys, and then lets the lower level guy go with a deal. That's exactly what went down, right? Hey,
but nothing happened to the players. Nobody got suspended.
listen to it. I said, you're proving my fucking point.
No, you're gonna piss me off.
What I'm saying is exactly what I'm saying. Is that when you see the lower level drug dealer, meaning the player, gets caught, the cops will say, hey, if you testify against your boss, I'm going to give you a reduced or no sentence. They work out a deal, and you see that. And I don't think it was fair that the players got away with it without getting some
Scot free.
Scot-free.
See,
Yes.
hey, but y'all also have to remember too, and nobody really wants to talk about this point, but the MLB Players Association had a lot to do with this too.
Oh yeah.
So let's not act like it was
Good
just
point.
the
Good
Astros.
point. Yeah, like because they're a union.
If
They're a union.
it was another team cheating, and I'm not protecting the Astros. I mean, what they did was wrong. We all got to learn what's right from right and what's wrong from wrong, right?
Yeah.
But if it was another team caught cheating, whether it was the Rays, the Angels, the White Sox, whoever it was, right? And I won't name y'all's organizations because I don't want you to feel, a little sensitive to the subject. Whoever it was, the MLB Players Association was going to step in and try to get the same deal too.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's a good point. No, because unions are strong.
The only reason the Astros have this big ass target on his back, and y'all can hate it or love it, whatever y'all want, is because they beat the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Dodgers to win their first World Series.
Yeah.
If they would have beat the Rays, the Angels, and I don't know, let's just say the White Sox to get to the World Series and win it all, and this conversation I don't think would have been as big as what it is now.
That's an interesting point.
It's just my opinion.
No, that's a good point, man. I never thought about it that way. I don't know. Right now, I don't know if I necessarily agree with you or disagree with you, but I think it is a very no.
This guy,
when every primetime game is either the Yankees or the Red Sox or the Dodgers, how could you not agree with that?
Yeah, I think he makes a valid point. It's a good food for thought. I actually like.
Those are big market.
I get what he's saying, though.
They draw the money.
I get what he's saying. He's just trying to process it.
Yeah, I'm trying to
the
process.
The cocky folks like Bregman, Correa, they put a target on their back too. They're running all their mouth on social media.
Oh yeah.
Through 2017. Whenever we're coming back on the Yankees to beat them,
but
they were.
Correa does well with that target on him.
No, but you know what?
He does well.
This is what I'm gonna say, man. And I know people think I'm an Astros hater, and I'm not. And I'm gonna say this time after time again. I'm a fan of an athlete, right? Whatever jersey you're wearing, if you're an athlete, I'm a fan of you, right? So when Correa was talking his shit, and he was backing it up, I was like, bro, that's fucking dope.
I couldn't.
You know what I mean? Like I was like, dude, that's because here's the thing. I said this, after because I feel like 2019 wasn't clean either. I don't feel like 2019 was a clean season either. But I would say 2020, it's for sure it's clean, right? Because it's all out in the air now. And to me, I was like, okay, this is where the Stros need to prove to the world, hey, we're players. We can play, so we can do it. And I think they did do it. Even if they didn't go all the way to the World Series, I think they proved that they are players, especially Correa, man. Because the whole team had a target on their back, and then somehow he was able to, still look like a boss, man. Yeah. And I think that's
from Caballo,
him and
what
Springer.
they said.
Hey, what?
He's a horse, bro. It's un caballo.
Es un caballo, yeah.
He's a real deal.
Dude, he was, dude. Again, I'm a fan of athlete. I'm like, bro, that is dope. He's walking. He's backing up what he's talking about. You know what I mean? So, and here's the thing, because I always felt like, dude, what's gonna make it tough for the Astros, besides getting hit by the pitchers, is the pitchers are gonna try to make all their lineup look stupid, throwing the hardest sinker, the hardest curveball, all the best pitches they can to make them look stupid. And even through all that, they still made it as far as they did. So again, because I'm a fan of the athlete. I'm not necessarily saying I'm a fan of the whole organization. I mean, I think they're a great team, but as far as athletes go, I mean, you know, that's badass, dude.
Yeah. They went into the playoffs under 500 and got within one game of going to the World Series.
Yeah, man. I mean, it
Under
was,
500. I mean, you can thank the new playoff structure of 2020, but I mean,
Yeah.
did they not prove that they
No.
belong in the playoffs,
Let me-
steamrolling through
Only
two
if-
teams?
Well, let me ask you this: if they play a full season, do the Astros make the playoffs?
No,
no, you don't think so?
not at the rate. No, not at all.
Because they were, I mean, the pitching, they were just
Not with this format.
losing guys. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. The pitching was kind of down, but
I mean, if you go with the original format, there's no way they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
yeah, it's but it would, to me, still badass that they did it. And Carrera was talking this shit, and then of course, you know, hey, I'm gonna, here's a walk off, boom. I mean, how many guys didn't want to do a walk off? How many guys? How many? I mean, I know I'm still waiting to get my walk off hit, whether it's a walk off hit or a home run. I'm still waiting to get that, and I've been doing this for a long time.
Damn, I got one and you don't.
No,
I
don't have one,
I
dude.
got one.
Do you have a walk off home run or hit?
It was one in the gap.
I'll say hit. But I mean,
No, it wasn't a hit. It was a gapper.
Listen to what
Big
I'm
difference.
Oh, extra bases. But I mean, you know, everybody always dreams about, what do we always talk about with little kids, right? Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, you know. Home
Well,
run.
in HHL, it's bottom of the seventh.
We're running out of time.
Hey, I got
Or
to
maybe
8
bottom
innings on
8. I
Saturday.
don't know.
yeah,
I got to 8 innings on Saturday.
yeah. Well, you know, actually
yeah,
in
that's
NABA, we've been actually getting quite a few games in 2.5 hours and 9 innings. So when the game is going good, it goes. You know, you can get it done in 2.5 hours. But
Here's the biggest thing: why games don't go to 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and 9 innings. It's just the in between, the every half inning in between. You know, when we're not rushing you guys, but like when we're not going in and out, you know, the pitchers and warming up, etc. You think about it, right? And this is just the way we've been, you know, taught to think about it. And of course, we have stopwatches at the upper level to, you know, just to make sure that we're running on time in between innings. Is you take 3-4 minutes, right? 4 minutes, worst case scenario, 5 minutes in between every inning.
Times 9.
You multiply that times 9, you're adding what, 45 minutes?
Yeah. Yep.
And then on top of that, that's only a half inning. So then you have to multiply that times 2 because of the full inning. You're talking about 90 minutes down the drain when teams take 4 to 5 minutes in between every half inning to
Yeah.
get ready.
no,
So-
I mean, it's true. But I know I've had this season and last season, I've had quite a bit of games finish in 2.5 hours, 9 innings. So it is. I think some of it is the in between time, but also too, obviously, if the pitcher's 1, 2, 3.
Well, that's
1,
just
2,
it.
3.
Yeah. And then you just sit down in the dugout and
Shit,
you're like,
then we'll
wait a
have
minute, I got to
2-hour
get back
baseball
out
games.
there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, dude. No, it's crazy. So, but let's see. Do we? What else? We were
Well, Philip, let me ask you about the game on Saturday. So when I went up there, because I was acting manager, and I go up there and talk to you, and one of the first things you asked me was, "Hey, where's Armando? You remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Do you remember my response?
Yeah, he went to Dallas.
That's right, because that's
Yes.
where the games were being played. So you know that game. We struggled. We were struggling. We only had one guy on the bench. We were missing one of our best hitters, and he was with Armando, and they went to the baseball game. So instead of
Oh,
playing
wow.
baseball, they went to go watch baseball, and we struggled on Saturday. What do you think of that?
By the way,
You know-
don't hold nothing back, Philip. Because I'm gonna whatever you say. I'm gonna go in tenfold.
Philip, we only
Oh,
had,
man.
I don't know if you remember, but we only had one damn hit in that game. We had like 3 or 4 sack flies, but we only had one legitimate hit.
You know what really got on my nerves now that we're talking about the 10-player thing? and not to disrespect that coach, but we specifically talked about having runners run for the catchers and pitchers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were all in a mutual agreement that it really didn't matter who was running,
Yeah.
right? And so then when Cheeto was the last batted out,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Well, I can't run. I was the last batted out." He was like, "Well, the rule says you got to go last." I was like,
That's
"Bro,
the
like we had
pitcher.
a meeting.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we just had a meeting about this, and you said you didn't care who ran."
No, but he's right. We just had a conversation about this. So he's like,
So-
yeah, let's do it to keep the game moving. Hey, I'm all for
Yeah.
it. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
And then you go up there and you call it in front of everybody,
yeah.
but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I don't know. To add, you know what, man.
I just felt like we.
I think
we
it's
You know what,
I
it's
think it's
been like-
bullshit.
It's been like 10 years.
Horse shit.
I mean,
Asshole.
you know, that's probably the last
Agnostic.
Game 7 they'll ever win.
right.
So thank you, Phil. Appreciate you backing
So
me up.
if they go to Game 7 this series, they're not going to win it.
Oh.
So
What?
I mean, you gotta take the chance and go. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, we gave him shit because he came to like the beginning part of the game and he just
I know he texted me. I was like,
Yeah.
hey, bro, are y'all still playing? Because I saw the other team just standing there like if they weren't playing, and I looked at the schedule on NABA. I was like, oh, he plays for the Pirates, and he texted me. He was like, oh, he's here, and I said, okay, I'll see him right now when I get dressed. And when I pull up, to the play meeting, I was like, hey, where's Mondo? And you're like, oh, he's not here, and I'm like, what? I just texted him.
I was like, he's on his way to Dallas.
Yeah.
I know, dude. They were
Now,
giving me so much shit.
I give you shit because
It's because we lost. That's why you. Get
that's the
shit.
only
And
reason
we struggled.
Yeah. Now if you would have said like we talked earlier, hey, I'm gonna go watch the Texans play, or hey, I'm gonna go watch a normal ass fucking Astros game or whatever the fuck, I would have been really mad at you.
yeah, which is.
But you went to the NLCS. I get it. I probably would have went too, but I thought our game was a little bit more important. That's just me. I know where my priorities are.
Well, look, man. I thought I left it in good hands with Cody.
No, Cody did an awesome job as a manager.
No, he
He
did.
did, but I can only play the hand I'm dealt.
No, 100%. I just wanted
You
him.
took our 500 hitter.
I know, I did.
Actually, he took you.
Yeah, he took me. But the funny thing
Shame
was,
on you, Chip.
Chip. I know Chip, and the funny thing about that was that I get mad at other players. I get pissed when grown men rather go watch a game than play the game. Like I get mad. Like I'll I use a bunch of F words in between all that. So of course Cody, when he sees me, he goes, "Oh, so you're gonna go watch a game?" And I was like, "Cody,"
Because I was told that, back in 2017.
Oh, when you went to a Nationals game?
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, "Come on," and I get it. My whole thing was, hey, it's the Dodgers. It's a championship game. Cheap tickets. It's right here.
Now, would you have gone, Cody, for the NLCS?
No, ALCS. Let's say it was ALCS.
Oh, let's say ALCS and the Astros
Yeah,
game.
no doubt.
Philip's like, hell yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, if I had the
I'm
chance,
going.
probably.
Yeah, I mean, because here's the thing. I moved here to Texas in 2006. I used to go to a couple of Astro games, and they sucked back then. It was great because there was nobody in the field, and it was great. Because I like to, I would go to these baseball games not to get the best view, but it was like, hey, I'm gonna get a hot dog, some nachos, watch
Enjoy
a game,
the experience.
Enjoy the experience.
So you were social distancing in 07? Is that what you're saying?
basically, yeah. The Astros were social distancing before it was a cool.
It was more than social distancing.
Before it was cool.
It was cool. But then because I had a buddy that was actually an usher over there, and I'd go say what's up to him when I was over there, and I told him, I was like, he's like, hey man, you gonna come out again? I said, look man, this is around 2016 going to 2017, even after 2017. He goes, you gonna come out? I said, look man, I'll be honest, dude. I mean, I'm happy that the Astros are doing great, but it's crowded and the prices are going up. Now, before people were giving you these tickets. Now it's like, now they want like face value or more than face value for these tickets. And I'm like, I'm not doing it, man. I'd rather go watch the Skeeters, get a real close thing and watch baseball, live action baseball. But a couple of years ago, I went to the ALCS with with Stewart. He had some tickets, and I paid over $100 for it. And the only reason I did it was because it was a championship game. I'm like, oh, I'll probably never get to see something like this. It was a great game. They lost, but it was a good game. It was that one where the guy laid out for it in the outfield. And
Reddick.
Benintendi.
Benintendi.
Yeah,
Benintendi.
That was the
Benintendi.
rest. Yeah, that's funny. I was at the same game.
Yeah, it was a zero hero move, right? That,
Yeah.
you know, if he misses it, he's a zero, but he catches it, he's a hero. So
Yeah, that's a high risk, high reward play.
Yeah.
But the way their season was going, it's gonna make that play.
yeah.
Oh wait, didn't the Red Sox get caught cheating too that same year?
It's kind of quiet.
Yeah, by the bench coach that went to the.
Yeah. He played for the Astros, or he coached for the Astros. That's right.
It's a great formula, man. But somehow they stopped using it after that. Oh, no, it's not the right thing to do. But anyways, anything else, Cody? Anything else we got for Phil?
No.
Anything else you want to add, Phil? Anything else you want to add to?
Actually, I will ask one more question. So Philip, you know how when comedians, right, they're on the stage and they have stuff in their head, right? When somebody says something to them, they have these go-to comments or a go-to response for a certain line that someone gives them. If let's say they're heckling them, do you have something like that? If someone goes off on you or says something that you don't like, do you have like a response that you'll generally use from time to time?
I don't.
No.
Yeah.
Reason I ask because
Sorry,
I'm
I'm not like Bobby, but I'm pretty sure Bobby has a ton of them.
Yeah.
But because he hangs out with Tarmo too much.
I think Bobby's biggest one's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. I can't even tell Bobby have a good day because he's like, don't tell me what to do. No, he's never said, Bobby, you never said that. I'm just fucking with you.
Man, that's my boy, man. That's
Hell
my
yeah,
boy.
dude, I like Bobby, man. We joke
like
around. And you know what's funny, man? When you said it earlier, like, because I know a lot of these umpires because I play in a lot of these leagues. I mean, HHL, NABA Saturday, NABA Sunday, different things. They always look at me, hey, man, did I just see you yesterday? Hey, man, did I just see you? Yeah, you did, man. So they start to know my face and know who I am. And
Hey, Philip, do you know Chris Kitchen?
Yeah.
So when we had the All-Star game a couple months back, Chris, he watches the podcast and he's like, "Man, y'all need to get an umpire on." And I don't think he wanted to do it, but I know James said he was going to do it.
I don't remember if I asked James if he wanted to do it or not.
Bobby said for sure he
Well,
wants to be on
Bobby
it.
wanted to do it, and I wanted because Bobby's very controversial.
So we've been trying to get an umpire on the show for like a month, 2 months now.
Yeah, I mean, and it's one of those things where it's a mutual respect and we know each other and we know what's going on.
We're just so intertwined with umpires, right? We
Yeah.
play in HHL. I mean, none of us play in the Mexican League anymore.
Yeah.
But HHL and NABA Saturday, NABA Sunday, so
Yeah.
we see a lot of each other, and we've known each other for so long. Like I remember when Philip first started umpiring with his brother,
Yeah.
with Rhino.
Yeah, Rhino. No, I know,
Yeah,
dude.
Mason Park.
Yeah, Mason Park. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And that's what I'm saying. It's like what's funny was like I try when I go up to the bat, like I try not to like, hey, I know you. Hey, what's up? Like I try, hey, Blue, how you
I
doing?
kind of feel bad when like
Yeah, me too. No, I go, hey, Blue, how's it going? Like I just say that because I'm like I don't want the catcher to kind of get this idea, like, oh, these guys are friends. Oh, these guys know each
that's
other.
what I'm saying.
You know what I
Man.
mean?
It's so bad. Man.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember once,
Like Mondo texted me the night before to screw y'all. Like no.
yeah. You know what I mean? So I just
Like,
I don't want to have
so-
any of that. Put that anybody on you.
I think that's what everybody needs to understand, man. That listening, that listens to y'all's podcast. We don't go out there, and I think I mentioned it earlier. We don't go out there with personal vendettas or I like this team better or this team. Like, nah, man. Like we're all human beings. We enjoy this. We enjoy doing baseball. We don't take anything personal unless you try to make things personal. We don't go out there to screw people. We can care less. Like as bad as this sounds, we can care less who wins or loses. So
But that's how it should be,
we're
man.
we're just out there to call balls and strikes, safe out, catch no catch, safe, foul ball, no foul ball, etc.
I do have one more question before we wrap this up. Now, me and Cody had this discussion last week. For your strike three call, now is it more about showmanship for you? Like, are you trying to make it like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like me, I like to show up a little bit, but not too much. And then there's some umpires that go fucking bananas with it.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, I didn't have too many of them on Saturday.
No.
But mine is strike. I'm very vocal on the first one, so strike. And then mine's 2 when it's strike 2. When it's a swing and miss, I don't say anything.
Right.
Because it's obvious that you swung and missed, right? But when it's 3, I just come up and I just kind of it's like I'm grabbing a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
That's how I practice it. I pop up and I'll just pull a bow and arrow back. Like, so if you're doing it now and imagine yourself getting a bow and arrow and just pulling back like that, that's just my strike 3. And I don't even say strike 3.
It's like it's like a lawnmower bull.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's down here. I like his is better.
The bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Bow and arrow.
Boom.
It's kind of like how Dane
bow and
throws
arrow.
like a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Some of those strike 3 swings aren't so obvious, and you have to make an appeal.
Oh my God! See, with you guys, look, man. There's when I have no runners on, and it's close, I'm not gonna make that call. I'm gonna go to my first base umpire.
Yeah.
But just so I don't need to hear the. With you guys in the adult leagues, because I always hear this. I don't know why it always comes from the adult leagues, but then why do you got 2 out there for then? Blah blah blah. Like, well, shit. Well, now I know that in the hardball league, I'm just like, or any league, NABA, Houston Hardball League, I just go. Hey, did he go? It's just as simple as that. And I'm not trying to throw my partner under the bus or anything, but I'm just giving you the benefit of the doubt. And if he win, he win. If he didn't, then instead of 2 eyes, we got 4 eyes on it now.
But you only appeal if he's standing at first, right? You're not going to appeal if he's at second, are you?
Well,
like in that position B.
If I'm working with a guy or somebody that does college ball, or somebody that's used to making that call from there, I will. The only reason being is because we're asked to go there regardless, whether they're in A, B, or C. And when we're doing junior college baseball.
Okay, so
it's
it
depending
is
on
acceptable. Okay.
So
a
check swing from a position B is acceptable.
Yeah, from B and C, we've done it.
But if you listen to what Phil said, an umpire that knows how to call that call from that position.
Somebody that feels comfortable. I don't want to say that they know or they don't know, right? But somebody that feels comfortable that expects me to go from them, and that's something we have to talk about pregame.
Right, because you're the one making that call. You're the one sending it down there for him to make the call. If you don't make the call, then it's not relevant.
I mean, the best angle would be from position A. B and C, I mean, you kind of see the barrel come through a little bit.
It depends on what the left-hander C would see it.
Here's the thing, okay? So I'm in a slot, which is like my right foot on a right-handed batter. My right foot is between the catcher's leg, and my left foot is kind of, where the batter's at. So on the inside fastball, and you're swinging, I might close my eyes or I might miss it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Where he did swing and I didn't see it because right? Because I'm a human being, things like that happen.
Sure.
So if I didn't see it and he's in B position, I'm going to say, hey, Bobby, did he go? Or hey, Chris, did he go? Because I didn't see it. And I expect him, and we should have had this conversation before the game, saying, hey, if I miss it, I'm going to go to you. So if it's anything close to it, they're probably going to say, no, he didn't, right? But if the whole stadium saw that he swung, then, hey, from here, he went. And then I got a strike 2, strike 3, or whatever it is.
So then you might get those coaches like, oh, he can't make that call from that position.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. I mean, you live with it.
Right.
So
Do you ever say, hey, I closed my eyes, what'd you get?
No, hell no. Hell no.
You never admit to that, man.
No, I just wanted to see what he said. I just messed with him.
It's like, I didn't see it.
No.
I closed my eyes. What'd you say?
No.
What'd you see?
Was it a strike?
No.
Yeah.
This is what I will say.
But I'll never put somebody in a position of one of my partners. If we didn't talk about it pregame, I'm not going to go to you.
Gotcha.
But if we made sure we talked about it pregame, and there's a lot of things that we do before the game and after the game that people don't realize. That's why we get to our games an hour, 30 minutes before the game. Where we're going to be at with rotations. Do you have the line, or you're going to come in all the time? Et cetera. And what a lot of people don't realize is that two-man mechanics has the most holes in it that you could possibly think of whenever it comes down to umpiring, especially with runners on base. So it's not the perfect, umpiring system, but it's good enough to get you by with high school level, and there's leagues that we umpire in and stuff. So that's why colleges, the big colleges, if you guys see, they either have 4 men or they have 3 men. They're spending that extra money on umpires to go spend on 3-man mechanics or 4-man, because 2-man isn't really gonna work with that at that level.
Right.
So
That makes sense. I will say this, man. I do like that you're vocal. Like when you hear foul ball, like you hear Phil call foul ball. You hear strike. Like when I hear you call those balls, ball strikes and foul ball, it reminds me of old school umpires because it's loud. I mean, you're like it happened. Where sometimes some of them, and I'm not saying it's bad or anything that some of the umpires that are not as loud, but I just kind of like it. It just makes it very clear that.
Oh yeah, it's easy. Like sometimes I'm in the outfield and I don't know what that was. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
Was that so obvious that it was a strike? I don't know.
Yeah. So I do like that you're vocal, man. You're like,
yeah, I had toned it down a little bit, and then when I went to camp 3 years ago, I started doing it again, and I asked my evaluators if they were okay with it, and they loved it, and I haven't had any pushback since then, and I just kept going with it because at one point I was told that I was too vocal, and then for some reason that day that my first camp that I ever went to, I just did it again, because I guess I was just trying to be extra sharp and come up with my strike call and just be that extra, just make sure that I was sharp, and it never went back from there, and that's just how I've been, and that's what I've always been. So
I appreciate it. I definitely like it.
Yeah, I think it works.
Yeah.
I'm all right with it.
Whatever, Cheeto.
Hey, two out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right? So
Yeah.
Okay. Well, man. Hey, man. I really appreciate you taking this time to give us some of the insight into an umpire's mind. We definitely want to get more umpires. So if if you know anybody, throw them our way. Because we just want different perspectives, right? It's a podcast for amateur baseball, but it's getting. I mean, I'm at some point I'm bring on. Hopefully, I can get Adam and Joe on here
And groundskeeper Willie.
groundskeeper Willie out here and get their perspective on amateur men's amateur baseball. So, but I appreciate you taking the time, man.
Yeah, and there's a
no,
lot.
man, I appreciate y'all.
There's a lot of new managers out there, so it's good that they can hear how an umpire should be approached,
And how coaches should approach umpires.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I agree.
insightful.
Cool, man.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Philip, man.
All right,
All right,
Philip.
No, thank you guys, man.
Yeah, we
This is
appreciate it.
a good platform.
You're the second best umpire I know.
Oh, he's talking about himself.
I am.
Man.
I am
No,
talking.
man.
I am talking
We,
about myself.
Oh man,
No, man,
I hope somebody's hearing this is gonna hose you at one of your calls that you messed
Go
up.
ahead.
I just hope whoever's listening to this, or Chris or Bobby or anything, I don't get text messages the other day and say I said too much or whatever. But
Why are you
Hey,
spilling
man,
all
it
our
is what it
secrets?
is.
so it's gonna get
Nah,
gonna get released
there's-
Friday.
there's-
So just know,
Just-
expect those like on Friday, Saturday.
I usually get text messages Saturday morning.
Yeah, so expect it Saturday, man. So
I just like I said earlier, man. I think everyone around the league just needs to understand, for the hotheads that are out there.
yeah, exactly.
It's nothing personal. We just go out there to do our job, and at the end of the day, we want to come home to our family safe. So, hey, man, we got families too. So it's like I said, it's nothing personal. And the only reason I say that is because I know I've had instances where people want to take it personal, and it turns into a fist fight, or
Oh yeah,
the umpire gets walked down to all the way to his car, and
Yeah, well, there's
it
parking
just
lots.
turns into
Yeah.
it turns a lot more to what it needs to be at. At the end of the day, we're all adults. You're trying to play baseball. We're just trying to do our job, and at the end of the day, we're also human beings, and it is what it is.
yeah. I agree.
Words of wisdom.
Yes, sir. All right, man.
Yep.
You have a good night, man.
All right, man. Appreciate it, guys. Go Rays.
LA,
Nah,
baby.
I don't even care about this series, man.
Because the Astros are
It's
not in it.
Hold on, man.
exactly.
He's a
It
true
is what
Astro
it
fan
is.
because I think all Astro fans just stopped watching baseball now. It ended already. They're like World Series. There's
Because the
something-
bandwagon ran out of gas.
No, I don't think. No.
Yeah.
I don't think they're bandwagon. I don't think Philip's bandwagon. I don't think
No,
any
not
of these
Philip.
guys-
Not Philip. No.
No, I don't think any of our mutual friends are bandwagon. I just feel like they hate baseball now because the Astros didn't
Yeah,
win.
but hey, but
That's a
one
diehard
quick
fan,
thing
not a bandwagon.
before I do
Yeah,
leave.
correct. Yes, sir.
Back to your point, Mondo. Earlier, you said that it was so great to go to the ballpark whenever we're losing, and I can completely 100% agree with you because you sit around now with this jam-packed stadium, and you sit around with people that are just there to be there because it's the Astros and they're doing well, and they don't even know what the hell they're talking about when it comes down to baseball. And they're either on their phones or they're having these conversations. They treat it more as a social event more than just to go watch
Correct.
a ball game
They do
and
it for
try
the
to
gram.
enjoy it. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Do it for
And
clout, man.
Yeah.
When we weren't winning, you had natural baseball fans that were just fun to be around with and just,
Yeah, they appreciate
understood.
You. Yeah, I agree.
If
Yeah.
it ever happened, it happened. If people these days, like how many people were shitting on Altuve?
Yeah.
He even though he had a great hitting ALCS, and people don't want to talk about that, but he had a shitty defensive 2 plays, and they want to knock him down when he's down.
3 plays, man. 3 plays.
So-
No, but I
well,
know.
hey.
But here's the thing, man. Here's the other thing that bothers me is that, like the 4 of us here on this phone call, we play the game. We played the game before, so we know those type of things. We know those errors happens. We know when sometimes there's days where you have or games where you have great defensive games and shitty offensive games and vice versa. And that's just the name of the game. And to me, when I see that, I was just shitting on Altuve. I was like, man, that sucks, bro. Especially at that level.
You also got to think too. They didn't have no days off on those playoff games.
Of course, and that's why I
Exactly.
respect.
And to be on like that. Oh shit! Excuse me. To be on like that for like 5, 6 games, 7 games in a row.
Well, that's why I always talk shit about pitchers in the MLB. And when I say pitchers, let me clarify that. I'm talking about MLB pitchers because the pitchers in the men's league now are not just pitchers. They do other things. They're hitters. They're position players. But in MLB, I shit on the MLB pitchers because they just got one job and that's all they do. Where a position player had to play the 7 games in a row, has to be there, has to be stretched out, warmed up, can't get injured, has to hit, has to run, has to catch. So, for Altuve to do that, I as a ball player, again, as a fan of an athlete, I did not say, oh, haha, that's what you get. No, I think like, damn, that sucks because he's a great ball player. He's definitely a hard out. He didn't have as great of a season as maybe some of the other guys on the Astros, but I think he's a great player, and it just sucked because, dude, I know when I'm having a bad game or whatever, and then my own team is roasting me, it feels bad. Imagine millions of people roasting you and watching it. I mean, it gets in your head, man. It's because they're human. At the end of the
that's
day,
what makes it worse. It's all mental, right? You make that one mistake, and then guess what? When that ball comes to you again,
the ball finds you.
And you have time to throw it at first, you're going to think about it.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Yep.
All right. He had one diving play, and it was a great catch, great throw, because he did not have time to think about it. He did what he does physically, and
Naturally.
it's not a problem.
Is what do you call it? Muscle memory.
Yeah.
He did it.
You put the brain in there, and then it just messes up everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, just do me a favor. Just make sure you send the Astros a thank you letter for breaking down the Rays before they got to you guys, because we really made them work.
You word them out.
So this World Series should be a breeze for you guys. So.
Man, I hope they get it, man, because if you got the Dodgers win the World Series and then you got the Lakers that just won the championship, that'd be fucking awesome. But whatever, man. I want to
I don't want to hear Cody Bellinger's mouth. That's all I don't want to hear. He's gonna be the first one. We should have had it in 2017.
Oh yeah, I can see it now.
We should have had it. We should have been 2-time champions in the last 4 years. You can hear it.
Hey,
you can hear it already,
bro. I don't respect anybody that wears a headband. So don't worry about it. I'm with you on that. He can't talk no shit with no headband on. He
I'm a diehard Astros fan. Okay, yeah, it sucks that they lost, but I really wanted them to have a rematch. Like, forget 2017.
Dodgers.
Yeah, it was crucial for me for them to get there because now you can have a rematch
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
You know?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? You know how baseball? It's so funny how baseball works. Yankees wanted to have a rematch with the Astros.
They
The
got
Yankees
it.
didn't make it to the ALCS.
Yeah.
Right. The Astros, for sure, I know they wanted to have a rematch with the Dodgers to shut everyone up.
Yep.
And they got eliminated.
Yeah.
And now it's just Dodgers.
And we thought the Dodgers were going to get eliminated.
Yeah, I
the
did
way
too.
they were playing, the way the Braves were playing.
I didn't. Okay, and you can quote me on this. Y'all said,
Hold on.
y'all
man.
said Tampa Bay Braves, and y'all asked me, "What you think, Cheeto?" I said, "Hell no." I said, Rays, Dodgers, all the way.
But
I had no doubt in my head.
But you know what? Here, you were thinking with your heart, not with your brain. That's the only reason.
Exactly.
That's the only reason I didn't take you
What?
serious. That's the only reason I take you
What?
serious. That's all.
No,
I'm saying.
man. Look at I moneyballed it.
No, you didn't.
Look at
No,
the
you didn't. You're just
statistics.
you're thinking with your heart. Your heart's blue, and that's what you thought about. So
No, man.
I just,
Yeah,
I didn't
well.
think they were gonna make it. They just didn't look that strong.
No, I knew
But
they were gonna make
But
it.
here's what I think, man. Again, you got athletes doing their thing. You got, Game 7. I was there. Game 7. Kike Hernandez comes in, pinch hits, ties up the game. Then Bellinger comes in, goes with the go-ahead run, and the pitcher stopped
Nah.
the Rays. I mean, not the Rays. I'm sorry.
Braves.
The Braves. Sorry, I don't even care.
You know
Rays,
what-
Braves.
You know what
Yeah.
you're doing?
What am I doing?
I don't know, man. You're all over the place.
I am all over the place. But what I'm saying is, I was just a fan of the athlete coming in clutch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Terrible base running cost the Atlanta Braves Game 7. And you
Oh,
guys
that
know
was pretty bad, wasn't it?
That was
Yeah.
terrible.
What are we talking
Terrible
about?
base running. The play with Turner tagged him out and done running to home.
was-
and he
it was
turned
kind of
around
like-
and
it
threw
was-
him out
Oh
at third.
yeah.
Ran the home
That
when the
was
ball was
terrible.
hit to third. What are you doing? With no
Yeah,
outs.
what are
There
you
was
doing?
no outs.
And they rolled. Didn't they
Yeah.
roll a double play on that? Didn't he
He
dive
got
at
a
him?
double play on that.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
dove at him.
He
and
dove
he
at
hit
him, then
yeah.
Turner threw it to Seager.
Yeah,
at third.
but the thing is, you
Yeah.
can't blame it on one play. There was other things.
That was a turning point.
But
you know
yeah,
that.
it's a turning
it is.
point.
Well, it is a turning point. I believe me. I understand that. That's all we do in baseball. After we lose a game, what was the turning point? Well, if you would have got run out over here, you wouldn't have done it. I get that.
But look at the
there's-
score, right? So you got two guys in scoring position with no outs, right? And
Yep.
they lost by what?
One run.
One
One
run.
run.
Yeah.
3
Yeah,
to 4.
but how many times? And this is pitching. How many? What about when I think the Dodgers 2 innings left bases loaded, and with 2 outs they got bases loaded, and their Braves pitching shut them down. So what I'm saying is, you can blame it on that, but it's also some of the pitching shutting it down. You know what I mean? And they shut down. I mean, Freeman went up there. I'm thinking, dude, Freeman's gonna bang one out. Acuna's gonna bang one out. One of these fools is gonna
Freeman
bang
got
one
They
out.
robbed.
didn't have a chance. There was a double play. There was no more guys
Yeah,
in
I know,
scoring position.
it doesn't even matter. All you had to do is let Freeman get his home run. He ties it up and go to
Oh.
extra innings. What I'm saying, the guys that usually come through because of the pitching was so well. I mean, I think if I'm not wrong, what's his name? Urena, what's his name?
Who?
The pitcher
Which one?
for the Dodgers.
Oh, Julio Urias.
They said he had a perfect 3-inning game, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
did.
So, and that's what I'm saying. They at that point, because the Dodgers pitching just finally worked out their way, stopped the Braves because the Braves could have came. It's only one run, bro. It's one home run. We how many games that we saw where the home run is how they score?
Swanson.
Bellinger,
No,
Kiki.
Acuna.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Albies.
So I agree that was a bonehead play. It was the same thing with what was that guy that left early and they threw him out at home, or he didn't tag up at third. Was that the Braves or Tampa?
Yeah.
I think that was Tampa. wasn't it?
Ozuna? Was that Ozuna?
Azuna, yeah. Yeah, he
Oh, you're talking about the shoeless Joe Jackson, Mookie Betts play?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because he
So-
thought the ball dropped.
Yeah. And it's like, I knew they were going to point to that. They're going to point to, oh, well, this. I mean, but dude, that's a hard play. You got 20 guys in front of you. And honestly, when I watched it live, I thought Mookie.
Yeah,
know,
but that's what you got a third base coach for.
Yeah, and nobody confirmed or said whether the third base coach said anything. Like, all they did was, oh, well, he probably didn't listen to him. That's what we all, but nobody said, hey, we looked at audio. He never said anything.
Yeah.
So, but, it was a great game, and I hope to see a good game these 7 games, man. I mean, I want to. If it goes 7 games, it doesn't go 7. But I just want to see really good baseball.
It's over already. Just give the Dodgers a ring. It's over already.
Take this
Give 'em
little
the ring. It's
measly
over.
2020 season and get the hell out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you heard it
It's
here
over.
first. Philip's calling it right now. He's calling it for the
It's
Dodgers.
over.
Look,
It's over.
I'm gonna call it right now. Watch.
They're going to get COVID rings.
I'm gonna call it. Look, I'm gonna call it.
We're gonna call it the COVID Classic.
Everybody's gonna say this season didn't count. It was only half a season. Fuck y'all. Blah blah blah. Y'all can take it.
This is look, man. Nah, this is one of the toughest seasons that you could
I mean,
it was a sprint,
Different
no
strategy.
days
what
off.
is, and that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. To me, it's like, okay,
This was
even-
definitely
Man.
this was definitely a 400-meter race. It wasn't no marathon.
exactly. And here's the thing. I don't think it was bad. I don't know. I haven't made a decision whether I think it's bad or good. A
Well,
shorter
it was
season.
bad for the health. For
Well,
the
yeah.
health
Yeah.
of players. I mean, you
Well,
saw how many pitchers went down.
But it was good for
But-
a lot of teams because 16,
But it was good for a lot of teams.
16 teams, man. That's like a big tournament. The World Series was just like a big tournament this year.
Round robin,
Yep.
that's all
Yeah.
it was, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
It was great.
Look
Yeah.
at us back on baseball.
All right, man.
okay, man. Appreciate it, man. We'll talk later.
All right, we'll see you on the
All
field.
right, bro.
All right, bye.